years with locations in several communities throughout the southern part of the province. B&A Petroleum is available for all your bulk fuel and lubricant needs, with propane at selected locations Monday to Friday. And don't forget, their card lock location is accessible 24 hours for your convenience. B&A Petroleum. Fuel you once, fuel you forever.
Broadcasting from Century Studios in downtown Regina. Broadcasting from Century Studios in downtown Regina. Harvard Media presents The Sportscage, where Saskatchewan comes to talk local sports. Brought to you by Kellen Solar. 35 years of experience. Moving water from a dugout or well without electricity. Visit kellensolar.com to find out more about your livestock operation. Be part of the show. Call 1-866-767-0620 or text 306-936-6262. The Sports Cage. Streaming at sportscage.com, our YouTube channel, and on the radio at 620 CKRM.
Welcome back to the Sports Cage, your Monday installment. I am your Monday host, Tegan Whitco, and I am joined by voice of your Saskatchewan Roughriders, Mr. Dave Thomas. And, of course, Colson Schultz. He is across the board from me, keeping us on the airwaves and, of course, on the stream at sportscage.com, our YouTube channel as well. And you can find us through X. And, yeah, we're back, boys. We're on the stream. We're all feeling a little bit rusty, not going to lie. It was all radio only last week, so... yeah, I felt like I really had to bring my A game today. And I will also say, now that we're back on the stream, it's kind of nice that it's not minus 50. Minus 16 feels pretty dang good today here in Regina.
Isn't that a sad state of affairs when minus 16 feels balmy?
I'll take it. I mean, life was rough for Texans over the weekend, too. I was watching a bunch of the footage coming out of the southern United States. Maybe an inch of snow, and people could not drive. It made me appreciate how well prepared we are for the elements in Saskatchewan.
See, it's a funny thing, though, isn't it? In how fickle it is, because it's all perspective.
Mm-hmm.
In Texas, you don't have sand and salt trucks.
Or winter tires.
Or
all-wheel drive.
Well, you know, there's a lot of trucks in Texas.
Well,
they probably have all-wheel drive.
True.
But
there's
I'm
also a
just
lot
saying,
of Corvettes that are very low to the ground.
That's very true, right?
We will take the warmer weather. Warmer, I should say. It's not actually that nice out there, but hey, it's not minus 35 or 45 with the wind chill. I'm not concerned about my car starting when we're done the show here today after 6 o'clock. So we'll take a win where it's at. Colson, how you liking the weather? You feeling good now?
Oh yeah, much better.
Much better? Happy to be back on the stream?
Like you said, a little rusty. We're getting there.
Hey, we got this. Our man Colson is going to keep us going here throughout the show today, and we do have a lot of guests that are going to be joining us. All of them joining us on the Western Pizza guest hotline as well. It is the pizza known worldwide for a reason. I love the doorbell sound effect.
I was like, where did that come from?
Did that scare you too? I think it scared Barty last week.
Pizza's here.
Pizza's here?
Right on.
Actually, though?
Okay, maybe not.
Oh, Colson, don't do me dirty like that. Don't ring the doorbell unless you're actually getting me some Regina-style pizza, okay? Loaded with toppings of Western Canadian ingredients and always cooked to perfection. So we do have a nice jam-packed show lineup. Riley Schick is going to be joining us. Now, you might recognize that name from earlier in the month. We spoke with him before he actually went to Texas. So he was down at the Dream Bowl in Fort Worth, Texas, Dallas. So he was there, former Regina Ram and, of course, Regina Thunder player. He was down there having a little opportunity to chat with some scouts. So we'll hear what his experience was like, what he took away from the whole excursion. Ryder is going to be joining us from Oilersnation. If you're not familiar with that name yet, you should be. Follow them on social media. Okay, so Ryder is from Oilersnation. Ryder and Lisa host a show. And if I'm not mistaken, they had a celebrity guest speak with them recently. Dave Thomas dug this one up.
Well, yeah. And again, this takes you back to a bad time 5 years ago when Tiger King was relevant.
COVID era.
But he's still in jail, and Ryder talked to him.
I can't wait to hear about that. Well, he's from Oilersnation, too. I should specify. This is a radio program.
That's right. We're not just talking Tiger King. Because that was a sport unto its own, wasn't it?
We had nothing else to go on.
No, that's right.
So Ryder from Oilersnation, he's going to help us break down what's going on with the Oilers. And, of course, we'll talk a little bit of Tiger King as well. We have our clutch performer coming up in the 4 o'clock hour. Darian Durant is always going to swing by on Monday. Boy, we have lots to talk about when it came from the championship weekend. Whew. Yeah, I'm excited to dive into that one with Darian. I'm also not sure if his picks were right.
You know, I'm going to say that mine were wrong, which generally is the case when I'm asked to predict something. But I really want to know and dive in. Tony Romo on the broadcast. Now, again, being a Cowboys fan, Darian and I, we're not going to pick on Tony Romo.
I will.
Well, go for it. But I couldn't believe. So that snowstorm was incredible in Denver, was it not?
The progression of how nasty it got and how quickly, wild.
Absolutely. And so when it got more and more snowy, Tony Romo alluded to the fact that the New England Patriots uniforms might have become a factor in the outcome of the football game.
I'm not buying that.
I find it very hard to believe, but a guy who's thrown a football in a snowy day or two would absolutely know. And of course, you remember Darian Durant was part of the era when the Saskatchewan Roughriders wore the Stormtrooper uniforms, all white, right? White tops, white pants. I'm curious.
It was also interesting. We were talking about this with Coulson earlier, how some of the AI technology that they were using on the field, because there was so much snow on the field, they had to use the AI generated line markers for each yard. So it was hard to actually see some of the players because they were blending into the white lines.
Yep. Absolutely. It was
not ideal.
Remarkable. And what would seem like a good idea, but if I was going to bet, if I was going to do what Barney does with a sprinkle of the day, I would be very surprised if the NFL lets a team wear all white uniforms late in the season again.
But what about the Bengals all white unis? Those are so nice.
I'm not saying they're not, but you just can't
Don't
wear
take
them
that away from me, okay?
You can't wear them in January.
Well,
the Bengals
they didn't have to worry about
play
that.
In January. Sorry.
Didn't have to worry about it this year. I know that one was coming. How are your Cowboys doing, by the way?
They wear all white jerseys too, and they may as well not wear them.
So lots to unpack with Darian Durant a little bit later on in the show. That's going to be coming up after 5 o'clock. And then Pat's chat, we have Bryce Bunz stopping by. Now, he is their game day manager, and they have a really special event and something unique and cool that they're bringing back tomorrow night, the Pat's Skills Competition. I'm looking forward to this one. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. It's kind of like a NHL All-Star style of event, something that you would expect to see in the NHL. So he's going to break that down for us, and he's also going to let us know what we can expect inside there. It's also a fundraising event as well for Sophia House.
Very cool.
Which is very, very cool. If you have a question for any of our guests, by the way, so be it Darian or maybe Bryce or Ryder from Oilersnation, Riley Schick, you can always reach out on the Prairie Land Rentals text line at 306-936-6262. That is also a number that you can call us at, like the old-fashioned way. Where you pick up the phone give us a shout. You can do that as well. So Prairie Land Rentals text line 306-936-6262. In case you missed it, a couple of moves by the Saskatchewan Roughriders. They have signed American quarterback Jordan McLeod. So he comes in 6 foot tall, 205 pounds, played college football at Texas State. In 2024, he threw for over 3,000 yards, 30 touchdowns, 70.2% completion rate in his career, 7 rushing TDs. So he also did attend the Buccaneers rookie minicamp in April of last year, which begs the question, and something I want to ask Darian about a little bit later on. What does this mean for the rest of the quarterback room for the Saskatchewan Roughriders? Bringing in another QB like this, you have Cone coming back with the Saskatchewan Roughriders, Tommy Stevens coming back, obviously Trevor Harris already signed again with the team. So what does that mean for Jake Mayer? I don't know. I am not the expert here. I'm not a former player here, which is why I'm curious to get some other opinions.
I think that this pushes the room, right? You're going to see what you have, and you always have to develop the next quarterback. And saying that, last year the Saskatchewan Roughriders went into training camp with 6 quarterbacks on their roster, right? They had 5 that they had signed, and they had 1 through the U Sports program where they go ahead and use to bring a U Sports quarterback in to do some training. But yeah, it's interesting. And this Jordan McLeod, it's funny because you've heard of that, was it 6 degrees of separation? There's 2 degrees of separation from the CFL and Jordan McLeod, because his assistant quarterback coach at Texas, and Texas State, by the way, to be more particular, was Dane Evans. 6 seasons in the CFL, 5 with Hamilton, 1 with BC. So obviously Dane knows a lot about the CFL, and you look at some of those relationships, right? It's a small league. Somebody said, "Hey, Dane, what do you think?" And Dane said to Mr. McLeod, said, "Hey, I think, you should give the Canadian Football League a shot if Carolina isn't going to be your destination next year, and that's what he's going to do.
It is interesting how many players and coaches are involved in football here in North America, but how many of these players and coaches just happen to know each other.
Oh, it's a network, right? It's a web, and they all know one another. So Jordan McLeod comes in. I think that I don't want to say that he's going to supplant anyone because I have no idea. We haven't seen him throw a Canadian football. We haven't seen him understand.
It's a bit of a different game.
Yeah, grasp the playbook at all, right? Mm-hmm. But again, you're looking always for the next one, right? Who is the next guy up if you need it? And right now, this is going to be the next guy that they bring into training camp. He'll get some reps, not a lot of them. When you've got Trevor Harris, that'll take a brunt of them. And then, of course, you'll have Jack Cohn who'll get some. And again, don't forget Tommy Stevens. He went to Penn State for a reason. Yeah. And it wasn't to be a short yardage quarterback. He threw the football.
And he was so reliable last season for the Saskatchewan Roughriders.
Yeah, his season kind of got derailed when he got hurt, right? It was, he downplayed the injury, I think, much more than he had to. But
overall,
he only threw the ball twice and had a completion for 6 yards. But the threat is always there, and you watch him daily at practice. He's throwing and slinging the football around. So never say never.
There will be a few new faces as we get closer and closer to training camp this spring up in Saskatchewan. Another signing by the Riders. Kentucky Wildcats standout, J.J. Weaver. So 6'5", 241 pounds from the University of Kentucky. Obviously a defensive player. So he was signed by the Riders today. Let me see. 58 games, 39 starts in college, finishing with 197 tackles. So ranking among Kentucky's top defenders in those categories during his career. He also earned several off-field awards for character and community involvement, which is something that will bode well here in Saskatchewan. I'm sure after attending NFL training camp with the Carolina Panthers in 2025, he was released before the start of the season, but the Riders have picked him up.
Should I read you the text verbatim that I received shortly after his signing was announced?
We're getting a peek behind the curtain.
The text verbatim. So, Dave, I see J.J. Weaver signs. Reading between the lines, does that mean Malik Carney is gone? And I'm like, and so I replied.
Let's not jump to conclusions here.
Again, don't forget one of your defensive linemen, in Micah Johnson, has already joined the coaching staff. So
yeah, done as a player.
Caleb Sanders likely steps up into that role. So who is going to fill the other spots? So, again, Malik Scoop Carney you've got, right? You can talk about him. Then, obviously, there's Shane Ray, who was nicked up and couldn't finish the season because of a shoulder injury, which was nasty. And, again, he had such a great season, such a great person. So you're cheering for him, right? Mm-hmm. Your other edge rusher is Haba Baldonado. Lake Corte Moore will come back. Where they slot him in, is it still going to be on defensive line, or is it back to linebacker where he concluded the season last year? I think this you're starting to see more defensive linemen sign because the Riders say, okay, listen, we're not going to go ahead and get caught with our cleats untied. We're going to make sure that we've got the next player.
Solid reference.
Thank you very much. Thank you. I really had to think about that one, and I thought it came out pretty well.
It was good.
But, right, with... See? Thank you.
Colson liked it, too.
I didn't get a doorbell, but I got that. Sometimes I want the ding, ding, ding from The Price is Right. That's what I would be looking for when I'm correct.
Have you earned that?
I can tell you, I skipped a lot of high school, and that was not The Price is Right, Colson. Just so you're aware.
I don't have everything at my disposal.
I know.
He's trying here. Come on.
You're doing pretty well because we're pitching some audibles here for you. And you're going to. Anyways, end of the day, the Riders are making sure that they've got defensive linemen and guys that they can plug in should they need to. The free agent window opens on February the 1st, which of course is on Sunday. So that's when we will start to find out and hear news trickling in who may have conversations. The one thing that stuck out to me that Jeremy O'Day, the Vice President of Football Operations and General Manager of your Rough Riders, said last year was, we encourage some guys to have some of the conversations in the window and then come back to us. And one of those guys last year was Marcus Sales. And, hey, Marcus, we understand you want to come back. We want you to come back. Go find and determine what you feel is your value, and then we can go ahead and make a deal. So there might be some of that going on as well.
Testing free agency and weighing out their options, right?
Well, absolutely. Put your option on the table. You want to come back? Well, we'll make it work, right? And you can go ahead and see what's out there because we don't want you to feel like you left something on the table.
I mean, I'm probably speaking out of turn here completely because I've never been part of renegotiating a contract as a CFL player. But the fact that the Riders are coming off a Grey Cup victory, it's probably boding well for them right now at the table.
Well, yeah. And what did Luke Mullender say shortly after, right? The Grey Cup and the playoffs are kind of like the carrot that you can dangle. So while you may not get all the dollars and cents you might get somewhere else, you can say, hey, listen, there's playoff bonuses and incentives and the Grey Cup. Like that's all there, and you can lay that out. And I think that's a big factor. Why wouldn't it be?
And another Grey Cup champion will be returning to the Saskatchewan Roughrider roster. The Riders have re-signed all CFL offensive linemen, and I know offensive linemen that was a topic of discussion last week when we were chatting with Darian, I believe. That might have been who we were chatting about with this. But yeah, having your offensive lineman return to the roster, Jacob Bramer is now coming back to the team.
Yeah, and that's a big one because now the entire right side of the offensive line is intact, right? Mm-hmm. But it does put a little question mark there as well, right? So Logan Ferland played center after Sean McEwen went down in training camp. Logan said that he much preferred guard. I don't know. I haven't talked to Logan yet. I will see him on the weekend and ask him, okay, so if the season were to start tomorrow, where do you want to play? Do you want to move back to guard? Or are you comfortable staying at center?
He played well at center.
And with Jamarcus Hardrick, Jacob Bramer, and Logan Ferland, you've got the entire right side of your offensive line intact. Now, if you look to the other side, Peyton Collins is there at the left tackle. Who plays left guard? That's a question mark, right? There's some Canadians that can fit into that role. The Riders did slide in Travion Tate, an American at that spot. So there's flexibility that the Riders have with the ratio. It's going to be interesting. But Bramer, who turns 27 in almost 3 weeks, February 18th,
You have all these guys' birthdays on your phone, too?
No. Not all of them.
Not all of them.
No, just
his favorites.
Yeah, that's right. No, Jacob, I just knew that he had a February birthday. Don't ask me why, and I know it was the 18th, and I don't know that why either. But anyways, what I will tell you about Bramer is that he brings a ton of flexibility because if you recall, when there were issues on the offensive line last year, he shifted from both sides at tackle. I think he's found a home at guard, but again, the versatility that he can bring, and he loves it in Saskatchewan. He's living with Ferland right now and Noah Zare as they train in the offseason. So to me, it makes sense.
Well, he's staying in tip-top shape, and he is back with your Saskatchewan Roughriders donning the green and white again next season. And Dave, you had a conversation with him, right?
Yeah, of course. He's going to be part of the Winter Classic team for the Saskatchewan Roughriders. That happens up in Saskatoon on Saturday afternoon at Merlis Belcher Place. It's going to be a big opportunity. And
are you going up there for it?
I will be there.
Nice.
I will be there as they have me doing some hockey play-by-play.
Oh, so getting back to your roots.
The occasional touchdown makes its way in. But it actually is a really, really fun event. And when you see Noah Zare at 6'8", 325 on skates, like I said, I'm not afraid that he gets started, right? Because he can move. He's an athlete. I'm just afraid, what if he can't stop? Right? There's a lot of momentum swaying at 325.
They're signing waivers for this too, right? Like you don't want to see guys get hurt.
No, exactly. And some guys aren't allowed to play.
Yeah, understandably so.
Right? Samuel Emelis, we heard his contract status is that he can't skate.
Have we ever seen a fight? Like a good old-fashioned hockey fight? I would love to see that at one of these Winter Classics.
No.
I know it's never going to happen, but imagine the stories.
It does get competitive.
I can only imagine professional athletes getting competitive.
Yeah, I know. Isn't that true? Well, I did catch up with Jacob Bramer, and the one thing I wanted to know right off the hop after congratulating him on the new deal, just wanted to know if he had his day with the Grey Cup yet.
I haven't yet. Well, we had the whole week or two right after the season, or right after the Grey Cup with it. We all kind of paraded it around town a little bit, and then I'm actually signed up to get it here maybe I think a week or so after the Grey Cup. I think I'll get to spend some time with it and then kind of take it around town up here in Saskatoon.
How interesting, exciting, cool is the experience when you get an opportunity to share your accomplishment with others?
It's awesome. I mean, coming from the States, we didn't really know about the Grey Cup all that much, but then playing up here for the 2 seasons, just getting to learn a little bit more about it. It's been awesome. And then really the coolest thing for me, I tell people all the time, even when I'm doing our presentations at the schools, that getting to see like the emotion that was on maybe like Logan Ferland or Noah Zare's face, just like my roommates, like the guys that were born and raised in Sask, like Jorgen Hughes, just getting to see how much it meant to them. That meant a lot it has made it that more special for me. So that was awesome to kind of get to experience that with this team.
Jacob Bramer, you said you didn't know a lot about the Grey Cup. How much do you know about the Stanley Cup?
I don't know a ton. Just growing up in Houston, I mean, we have the Stars, and then we we had an AHL team in Houston, so I would go watch games there. I have very minimal knowledge about hockey, but I like watching it. It's pretty fun though. Pretty fun to watch.
Opportunity for fans to watch hockey. You're going to be a part of the annual Saskatchewan Roughrider Foundation Winter Classic. That's coming up January 31st in Saskatoon. What's your role going to be?
So me, I won't be playing. Just don't have the skating background. Don't want to put myself in harm's way, or anyone else, I should say. But I'll be roaming around the stadium, kind of talking with fans, doing some promotion stuff there, and then maybe even some autographs. And then I know after the game I'll join everyone and we'll do a autograph signing after the game.
Now, this game actually is starting to take on a competitive flair, as Brett Lothar was pretty upset that his team lost last year. Have you heard some of the chirps that are going back and forth between him and Chris Getzlaff and Joe and Kian Schaefer-Baker?
Oh, yeah, no doubt about it. Yeah, it's definitely a charity event, but there's definitely going to be the competitive side, right? So I know Brett, and Brett loves to win, so he's one of the biggest competitors on the team, whether it be that, we're playing cornhole in the locker room, anything. So, or even ping pong. He wants to win all the time. So yeah, it'll be a fun game to watch. It'll be pretty competitive.
So do you hedge your bets? Do you back one team or the other, or do you politically sit on the middle of the fence and not pick a winner?
I'm in the middle of the fence. I kind of just play both sides to it, you know?
Oh,
I'm in a win-win situation that way.
There you have it. Jacob Bramer talking about, of course, re-signing with the Saskatchewan Roughriders. He's coming back, and he's getting ready for the Winter Classic up in Saskatoon this weekend. Mm-hmm. Can you do me a favor, Dave? I have not had the pleasure of attending one of these before, so set the scene for me. Paint a picture. What is it like up there?
Well, this one's going to be a little bit different. So they've done it for 4 years. It started with Brett Lothar, as it was in a charity event that he actually ran back home in Nova Scotia. And so he kind of thought that this might be an idea. He pitched it, and the Saskatchewan Roughrider Foundation kind of backed him on it. So this is a great idea. So they'll bring in former NHL players. So Mike Sillinger is going to be there. Mike Commodore is going to be there. Brett Lothar, of course, is one of the team captains. Chris Getzlaff is another of the team captains. Noah Zare played last year. You've got Joe and Kian Schaefer-Baker as the two honorary coaches. They kind of divvy up the teams in a draft format, and then they play a game. And instead of 3 periods, they play 4 quarters, as you would expect, right?
I love that.
And there's all kinds of great fundraisers on. There's a 50-50 that grows because you can get one at riders5050.ca, a ticket for that. And then also this year, the Grey Cup is going to be in attendance. The Grey Cup will be there
Naturally.
So that fans show up in Saskatoon. You can do the pictures, you can do all that stuff. And then there's an autograph signing after the fact with all the guys that are still there and hopefully unhurt, and they'll come up, sign autographs.
Oh, they'll be fine.
And yeah, no, it's a huge fundraiser for the Saskatchewan Roughrider Football Foundation initiatives, but then it's also a lot of fun just in general.
Having KSB and a Joe as the coaches, I'm not sure who would put the fire in your belly more, because they're both fan favorites for a reason, and they're highly energetic gentlemen.
Well, Joe had just signed with Indianapolis last year prior to the Winter Classic.
Yep.
So he gave a speech in the locker room, which was hilarious in my opinion, because he went ahead and he gives the speech, and you could hear it from the concourse. And that's not like that's a jaunt to get from the dressing rooms to the concourse. And Joe was just ready to go. And then Kian Schaefer-Baker, he made the mistake of not wearing socks. It was his first time, I think, on a hockey bench in a long time. So he didn't wear socks. So I think he was pretty cold. But the two of them, they have you thought that, I don't know, Don Cherry back in the day, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like these two come in style, dressed to the nines.
No socks, though.
Yeah, I think he felt
That's a
that last
risky
year.
move.
Yeah. So
I hope he got a sock sponsor.
Well, we could. We could have. I don't know. We should, because it was chilly for him last year. And then, yeah, like I say, there's community people, different. Again, the teams are. It's pretty interesting. It is, and like I say, so last year, Team Getzlaff, of course, Chris, at 1 year brought his brother Ryan out. So that wasn't last year. That was 2 years ago. But last year, Team Getzlaff got out to a pretty good lead, and you could see Lothar really getting going and rallying the troops, and like Andy Fantus was there last year. So there's names from today and yesterday there. It's pretty cool.
worth the drive up to Saskatoon, and that's on Saturday afternoon, right?
Saturday afternoon.
Okay.
Don't ask me what time puck drop is. It's sometime after lunch.
Aren't you the one calling the game?
I know. I know.
Come on. I know it's only Monday. You got some time.
That's right.
You'll figure this out. It's good. It's all good. So let's shift gears from hockey/football onto curling. So Saskatchewan, of course, the Scotties Tournament of Hearts is underway, and Saskatchewan represented by Regina's Jolene Campbell. So that's Pool A. They improved to 2-1 this morning, and a 6-5 win over Nikki Kaufman from the Northwest Territories, that rink. So they do have one more game coming up tonight, 6 o'clock, against the 1-3 Quebec rink. But we had a chance to actually hear from her a little bit after her first match of this tournament.
Yeah, absolutely. And again, she kind of squeaked one out today. She scored 2 and 9, had to steal 2 and 10 for the 6-5 victory. But the pressure is already on because they had they have the worst draw out of everybody. They're one of the lowest seeded teams, and again, that's just a ranking systems that Canada Curling does. Didn't give them any respect coming in, so they missed the opening night. They missed the opening morning draw with her pool. And then she gets thrown onto the ice after every team has played one game already at very least. And she drops it to Nova Scotia. Again, Nova Scotia knew the ice, they didn't, so on and so forth. And then she was already being pestered about, hey, you've lost a game, you could be out of it already. And I'm like, it was her first game. But Jolene responded.
Welcome to curling.
Yeah, Jolene responded accordingly.
Don't make any one game to be too much. I know when I was chatting with Vic before the game, he's like, 2 losses is going to be too many. And it's like, you just kind of have to not worry about it. It's a tight round robin, right? It's kind of a short round robin. Every team is good. Also, everybody's beatable. So you just have to go out and throw the rocks and try not to worry about the rest of it.
Of course, that was Regina's own Jolene Campbell, who's at the Scotties Tournament of Hearts. Next game coming up tonight at 6 o'clock local time, taking on Joliane Fortin, the 1-3 Quebec rink. So we are running out of time here. Geez, there's so much more I wanted to get to, but I guess we'll have to save it for the rest of the show. We got a jam-packed one here still to come. We haven't even touched on the NFL yet. There's just so much more to dive into here. So in the meantime, we are going to get set for our next guest, who is Riley Schick, former Regina Thunder and Regina Rams player of Lumsden, Saskatchewan. You might recognize the name because we chatted with him prior to heading to the Dream Bowl in Texas. So we're going to find out what that experience was like for Riley in just a bit. This is the Monday edition of the Sports Cage, brought to you by Keln Solar. 35 years of experience moving water from a dugout to a well without electricity. Visit kelnsolar.com to find out more for your livestock operation. We'll take a quick break. We'll be right back on the other side. This is the Sports Cage on the home of local sports on 620 CKRM and streaming at sportscage.com.
It's the start of a new year. Time to get financially fit. If you're looking to open an RRSP or a TFSA, maximize an existing account, or update your investment mix, Cooperators can provide the personalized advice and service you need. Want to start the new year on the right financial foot? Contact your local advisor to build a plan that works for you. Cooperators, investing in your future together.
Did you know over 1.3 million homeowners call on Reliance for their water heater needs? With over 150,000 five-star online reviews and over 60 years experience, you could say Reliance Heath are water heater experts. Switch to Reliance Heath today. They'll give you $200 for all your hot water needs.
Call on Reliance.
Visit waterheaterrentals.com for details. Terms and conditions apply.
If it's happening in sports in Saskatchewan, we've got it covered on Sportscage. Be part of the show. Call 936-6262 or toll free 1-866-767-0620. On your radio at 620 CKRM and online at sportscage.com.
Well, thanks for taking the time to join us on the Monday installment of the Sports Cage. We are back streaming at sportscage.com, our YouTube, Twitter, X, whatever you want to call it. We're there too. And of course, we're on your radio at 620 CKRM. I'm Tegan Whitco, your Monday host of the Sports Cage. And I'm joined alongside Dave Thomas, voice of your Saskatchewan Roughriders. And of course, Colson Schultz, manning the show, keeping us on the radio and on the stream. I forgot to mention, by the way, if you join in the conversation at any point on the Prairie Land Rentals text line, we do have a prize to give away today. And if you want to be entered for it, maybe send in the word Pats, because not only do they have their skills competition at the Brand Center tomorrow night, they will also be hosting the Moose Jaw Warriors Saturday evening at the Brand Center. So if you want a chance to win some tickets for that, hit us up. Send in the word Pats in your name, and we'll get you in that draw. Colson will make that at the end of the show today. The number, 306-936-6262. A good old Trans-Canada rivalry showdown is always one of my favorites, and it has nothing to do with the fact that I'm from Moose Jaw, okay? It's going to be fun.
You keep telling yourself that one.
Okay, maybe I am a little biased, but it's fine. It's fine.
Yeah.
So if you want a chance to win some tickets, again, Prairie Land Rentals text line 306-936-6262. I do not want to keep our guest waiting any longer. All of our guests join us on the Western Pizza Guest Hotline. I'd like to welcome to the program next Riley Schick. Of course, you might recognize that name from the Regina Thunder or the Regina Rams or just a good old guy from Lumsden, Saskatchewan. Welcome back. Welcome back to Saskatchewan.
Thank you for having me back on the show. I really appreciate it.
Of course. We chatted with you just a couple weeks back before you headed to Texas to participate in the Dream Bowl. I bet you're happy that you made it back to your home province before all of that ice and light dusting of snow hit Texas because, wow, it looked like they were struggling.
Yeah, honestly, didn't really feel like I felt home for that long because when I was down there, it was, I think the highs here were the lows there. So the one morning, I think it was only 5 degrees, and I think it was 5 degrees here. So it wasn't that much of a change in weather, that's for sure.
Did it give you a little bit of a competitive edge there, Riley?
Oh, for sure. I think the one morning, it was probably 5 to like 7 degrees outside and windy and blowing, and all the guys from Florida or guys from down south were like, man, this is crazy. I've never been in something like this in my life. And I was just out there in my shorts and t-shirt and still trying to soak in all the sun, and everybody's saying I'm crazy, but I was just happy to see sun.
Yeah, no kidding. Take the sunshine where you can get it. Maybe talk to us a little bit about being in Texas for the Dream Bowl and having an opportunity to really show your stuff, Riley, especially in a place where, let's be honest, that's football country in Texas, right? It's built into the fabric of their society, much like it is here in Saskatchewan. So kind of run us through what that felt like.
Yeah, going down there in general, getting the invite was a true blessing in its own. A kid coming from Lumsden, Saskatchewan with maybe 2,000 people going to Texas for a football showcase, which is the best place for football. You know, you heard Saskatchewan was the mecca for football, and it was getting compared to Texas, but you know, you go down there and it's different. Like the practice field we played on was a high school that had seating that was bigger than any high school field I've ever seen. And talking to one of my other buddies, he was down there for a different show, and he said that stadium sat as much as Mosaic did, and it was a high school stadium. Like it's different down there for sure, but all of it in itself was just a true blessing to go down there for sure.
So Riley, as an offensive lineman, how did you do?
I think I did very well. Listening to what my agent has said, everything went very well, and I was able to get some film at guard, which I haven't been able to do pretty much my whole career. I've been locked in at center, but getting that guard film out there for the CFL teams kind of just gets rid of that question mark that's over my head that, oh, can he play other positions? He's only ever played center. So going down there and getting a chance to play guard, especially against tough competition, really played in my favor.
How does the change come about? Do they ask you? Do they approach you? Is it something that you requested?
No. The two guys that they had slotted in at center, they kind of said that they only play center. I was like, well, when I was with the Riders for a little bit, I played guard, so I'm comfortable there too. In practice, I got a couple center reps when I was able to, just filtering in and out. But playing at guard, ended up being a good thing.
Can you take me through the process then, start to finish? You arrive in Texas. You obviously have meetings and practices leading up to the game, and then following the game, are there exit interviews? Are there opportunities for you to learn?
Yeah, so our film got sent out to us just recently, so I can watch that and then be able to send that to teams as well. But got down there on Wednesday, and everything started on Thursday. So Thursday midday, we had a little bit of a combine going on, and our first walkthrough practice. Friday, then we had 2 practices. It was like a training camp 2 a day. Practice in the morning, went back to the hotel, had lunch, practice in the afternoon, had a little bit of meetings. The meetings weren't too intense because the playbook was very basic. They want guys to just be able to go out there and run around, have fun, play football the way that they can play football. The two teams aren't trying to out-scheme each other. They're just trying to let players play football, which is really nice. And then Saturday, we had one more practice, and then we got actually a tour of the Cowboys Stadium, which was awesome. That's where the game was held, was at AT&T. So we got to walk through all of the suites. We got to walk through locker rooms. We got to walk through the concourse. We got to look the very top platform down at the stadium and got to learn a bunch of facts. And then on Sunday at noon, we were playing the game.
Did you get to run through the tunnel at AT&T Stadium?
We did. Our team actually got lucky. We were on the side that the Cowboys run through, and we're the only team. They're the only team that runs out on the 50-yard line. So our team got to, for walkthroughs, we got to go through there. But through the game, we went through one of the side tunnels. But we're just walking out there for the pregame stuff through the tunnel that they walked through with the big Cowboy star up there is super cool.
Obviously, as a Canadian and University of Regina Ram, Riley Schick, you obviously are accustomed to the Canadian game. You get down to the States and that 1 yard off the ball changes. Does that change the way you had to approach? Does that change anything about your technique?
Yeah, for O-line, I think it's probably the one position other than maybe D-line that it changes a lot of stuff. The hand punch timing's different. How many steps you can get in the ground before contact is different. The speed of which things happen, the game speed is the same, but the speed at which things happen a lot sooner. So you're getting that pass rush a lot sooner. You get into contact a lot sooner. So just the little things like that you have to get used to for sure.
So who would have a bigger an adjustment? A Canadian going to play the American game or an American coming to play the Canadian game?
I'm going to say an American coming to play the Canadian game, because as a Canadian, you watch American football your whole life. When I went down there, most of them didn't know that we do three downs. They didn't know that there's a yard off the ball. They didn't know that we can get a rouge. Like, they know nothing about it. So when you know the rules, you can change how you play towards them. But when they come down here, I think a lot of them, like, they didn't know that we have unlimited motion and stuff like that. Just the little things that you know that they've never watched a CFL game in their life.
How would you compare the athleticism between, obviously you're well-versed with the U Sports game up here in Canada, so what's the comparison and competition between NCAA and U Sports from your point of view?
I think it's very close. As a Canadian athlete, you kind of always think about the NCAA as like a top-tier thing, so you never think it's that close. But even talking to a lot of the guys down there, I think the Power 5 programs or the Power 5, I don't think we compare to those guys, like Alabama, Georgia, guys like those are still like a little bit of our reach. But guys in like the Midwest Conference, I think it's called, or Mountain West maybe, but like that mid-tier Div 1 NCAA, I think there's a lot of people that could go play NCAA football, but they just don't recruit Canadians for whatever reason that is.
You talked, Riley, a little bit about moving to guard from center. Did you stay on whether it was the right guard or the left guard position? And if so or not, can you explain to people that may be unfamiliar how difficult it is changing positions and what does change for you from center to guard to tackle?
Yeah, there's a lot of things that change. In practice, I got to rep both left guard and right guard with a little bit of center mixed in, and you're looking at different things each time. So as a center, you're looking up, and you're going to try and find whichever linebacker you're going to, and you got to point them out, call your double teams. As a guard, you got to go, you're second to the line, so you're not first, so you have to set your feet off the center. And then after that, you have to try and look at what's around the linebackers, where the D-line lined up and stuff like that, and little nuances. At guard, you have a lot more time to look at the D-line and kind of get a read on them. So if they're heavy on their hands, okay, they're going to bring a power move. If they're light on their hands, it could be a twist coming at you. He could be dropping into coverage. There's a lot of things that you get to see at guard that you don't get to see at center just because of that time crunch. At center, you run up to the line, look at the linebackers, you call out your linebackers, you call out your double teams, and you're trying to find the safety to make sure that there's no blitzes coming. Center, you definitely have a short amount of time to look at the D-line and see maybe what he's bringing.
So, to put it in context with the Saskatchewan Roughriders and what fascinates me, Travion Tate in the last 12 months has started a game for the Roughriders at right tackle, at left guard, and I'm sure if you let him, he would have played receiver. But when you're going opposite sides, doesn't that change everything with your footwork and hands, depending on what side of that offensive line you're on?
Yeah, you definitely kind of got to be ambidextrous in that way, because when you're on the right-hand side, obviously you throw your right hand first in a pass pro. But when you're on the left side, you got to throw your left hand, which for a lot of people's hard because you do everything with your right hand. The only thing that people really trust themselves to do is drive with their left hand some days. So you kind of got to get used to that. And then once you get used to it, next thing you know, you're right back to the opposite side, and you got to try and get used to that again. And then maybe the next game you're back on the left-hand side. So it is very difficult to get used to going side to side. So if you can do that at a young age, that's definitely a bonus.
So after taking part in the Dream Bowl, would you suggest that you got everything from the experience that you wanted?
Yeah, I'd say so. Pretty much at every practice, there was CFL scouts, NFL scouts all there watching and taking notes. So I know I saw like the Cowboys, the Ravens, the Colts, the Argonauts were there, Ottawa, the Riders, Calgary, Winnipeg. So it was awesome to see all those scouts and just walk up to them and say hi, your name, and kind of keep them and keep your name in the back of their mind for when the time comes. And then with all the practice and stuff, it's cool to be able to spend time and get to meet guys from NCAA and just get to pick their brain at the little stuff that American football comes with. They've been lifting in gyms that are state of the art since they were 10 years old, and some schools in Canada don't even have a football gym to their own. Lots of guys, when I told them that we lived in a gym that's super small and we share with other teams and there's 10 racks, like they kind of like had shock on their face. So I was like, yeah, like it's gritty in Canada. And I think that just applies to who we are as people.
I imagine that this would have boosted your confidence a little bit heading into the remainder of this CFL offseason, hey?
Yeah, I think it was a good checkpoint too, because kind of right now you are in the dog days of what training is. Like we wake up every morning, we run early in the morning, we lift after work. It is the dog days. So being able to go down there and play football, get to bang around a little bit, definitely gets you out of the mindset.
So what's next in your journey?
I have the regional CFL Combine on March 6th in Waterloo. And then after that, hopefully I'll be able to get upgraded to the National. And the Nationals later in the month. Then the draft is after that.
Do you feel like having gone through that semi-combine process then at the Dream Bowl, an opportunity to prepare yourself for what you need to do?
Yeah, absolutely. Even in our testing or our runnings and stuff right now, the guys who are going to the combine, we have specific stuff that we work on. So it's not just running form anymore. It's how you can get out of your 40 faster. It's how you can stop and go the other way in the 5-10-5. So we have a lot of specific training that we have to do right now. So getting used to that and then actually getting to test it from what my numbers were maybe last year at the end of the season to at the Dream Bowl is able to fix your mindset and say, I am getting progress, not just I'm stagnant all the time, because it does get repetitive a lot.
It's great that we're doing this virtually, because if you were in front of me, I'd fear that maybe you'd go ahead and you'd give me the two-hand block on this question. But just listening to you, this really sounds like this is a challenge and an opportunity for you to prove yourself. Is that the way you approach it? Does anxiety come into this process? Because it's a long one, and obviously you're looking to fulfill a dream.
I've always been like, growing up, I never really got nervous. I was always a big believer that nervousness and excitement have the same feeling in your gut. And it's just which one you tell yourself it is, that's which one you have. So I've always kind of just told myself I'm really excited for the next opportunity. But being able to do this in general is awesome. So just telling myself that I am excited and that I can prove it to myself, because growing up, I never played football till grade 10, and I played 9-man football. And then I never received any scholarships out of high school. I was a walk-on the Regina Thunder, and I've started ever since. So I've had a lot of people tell me that I can't do it. When I was playing baseball, said that I was unathletic. I wouldn't make it to the NCAA in baseball. and stuff like that. So being able to prove everybody wrong is definitely a big motivator.
What position did you play in baseball?
I was a first baseman pitcher.
Okay, he's got an arm too.
Wow.
A little bit. I like to sling it in practice sometimes when they need me. So
The more you can do, right?
exactly, best ability is availability.
So what would you tell yourself if you go back to that grade 12 young man, the young Riley Schick that's there, would you tell him anything at all? Because you look, again, you're a walk-on, right? And I don't want to disparage that because that's an amazing accomplishment for you to believe in yourself and then go ahead and get the coaching staff to believe in you as well. But now you're running out where the Dallas Cowboys run out at AT&T Stadium.
I think this goes for a lot of people. When I finished, I played football in grade 9 when Lumsden had a bantam team for the first year, and we went 0-9 and got slaughtered every game. It was not great. And I looked at my high school football coach and said, "I'm not playing football." And he said, yes, you are. I was like, I don't know. Like, I don't think I'm going to play football. Sorry to let you down, because he was my neighbor growing up. So all my life, he's like, "You're going to play football and you reach high school." Yeah, you are. I was finally told him, I was like, "No, I'm not going to play football." So I'd actually tell my grade 10 self that you need to take every opportunity that arises, no matter what it is. It could be working a new job. It could be playing football and playing sports in general. But everything that you do is for a purpose. Playing football obviously got me to where I am now. Playing volleyball has, when I was in high school, helped me with agility and jumping. Baseball helped me with training. That's when I started lifting weights and stuff. So everything that you do is for a reason, and that every sport you also play is helpful. You don't have to just do one sport.
Do you get any contact one-on-one with teams at all? Is that through your representation? How does the process work? As again, obviously you want to stay, as you mentioned, top of mind to everyone.
It's more through my representation now, but I was hoping at the show to talk to some teams, but our schedules were pretty busy, so it didn't really ever end up coming around to that, sadly. But I was hoping to, but there will be interviews at both combines, I believe. So
I can't imagine. I wouldn't want to be asked some of the questions I've heard about the combine interviews, but
I've heard about some pretty dumb questions.
I've also heard of those ones.
See, so I've just been preparing you throughout the course of the show for your combine interview with as many dumb questions as I can come up with. You're welcome.
This is truly why we invited you on, Riley.
Oh, thank you very much. Thank you very much.
I do want to know, though, in all seriousness, we now have the stage set for the Super Bowl, and I got to get your take on this one. I imagine you've been following along, paying attention. Seahawks, Patriots, who you got and why?
I'm going to go with the Seahawks because the Patriots have had too easy of a schedule, especially in playoffs. They go against the Texans, and they have 4 interceptions, so that's got to be easy. They go against a backup quarterback and Jared Stidham in a snow globe bowl. Like, the Patriots are going to win that. So I think they had the easiest schedule all season, so I think the Seahawks are going to come out and give it to them pretty good.
All right, we'll mark you down for that.
I'm going to put that in ink because I think that's a very great prediction on your part.
Yeah. No, I like that one. I'm also going Seahawks, just mainly because the other co-host of the Sportscage, Barney, is a Patriots fan, if you can't see the Patriots flag behind me here in the studio. So I just got to go against him.
Smart pick.
Yeah, I'm right there with you, buddy. Okay, fresh back from Dallas, Texas, of course, in the Dream Bowl, our lovely guest, Riley Schick. Homegrown offensive lineman. Thank you so much for taking the time, Riley. We really appreciate it.
Thank you for having me on again.
Of course, we'll chat in the near future, I'm sure.
Sounds great.
Of course, Riley Schick joining us on the Western Pizza Guest Hotline. It is the pizza known worldwide for a reason, loaded with toppings of Western Canadian ingredients and cooked to perfection. No doorbell? Okay, I see how it is. Thanks, Colson.
Next time.
Next time?
Next time.
Okay, well, we can't overuse it. That's the other thing, right?
Oh, that's true.
Okay, still to come, Ryder is going to be joining us from Oilersnation, the Sauce podcast. We got lots to talk about in terms of hockey. Darian Durant is going to be joining the program after 5 o'clock. So if you do have any questions for either one of those folks, you can always reach out on the Prairie Land Rentals text line at 306-936-6262. You can always shoot us your questions, or if you just want a chance to win some Pats tickets. They're going to be hosting the Moose Jaw Warriors this Saturday at the Brandt Center. So to send in the word Pats and your first and last name so we can get you into that draw at the end of the day, the end of the show, rather. We will be making that draw. Coming up next, we do have your sports ticker coming up, so hang on tight. All right, this is the Sports Cage on the home of local sports on 620 CKRM and streaming at sportscage.com.
The 4th annual Rough Rider Foundation Winter Classic Hockey Game is back. Join in on Saturday, January 31st, 1 p.m. at Merlis Belcher Place and watch current and former Rough Riders, NHL alumni, and celebrity guests face off on the ice. And the Grey Cup will be there too. Grab your Winter Classic tickets at riders5050.ca. And while you're there, check out the Winter Breakaway 50/50 with awesome prizes including big cash and a trip to see the Blue Jays season opener. The Winter Classic is presented by McDougall Auctioneers.
Sask Lotteries has over 50 years of winning behind us. And you know what that means? Lots of winning numbers. Numbers like over 1,200 organizations funded and 12,000 plus groups supported. $6 million given away annually in community grants. And the winningest number of all? $1.4 billion given back to the people of Saskatchewan through sport, culture, and recreation. And we're just getting started. Learn more at sasklotteries.ca.
It's time for the Sports Ticker, brought to you by Reliance Heath Water Heater Rentals. Switch to Reliance today and get $200 cash back with your new water heater. Some conditions apply. Call on Reliance.
Taking a look at your sports ticker. Of course, the Saskatchewan Roughriders have signed American quarterback Jordan McLeod. He was at the Tampa Bay Buccaneers rookie minicamp in April of last year. Kentucky Wildcats standout J.J. Weaver also signed with the Saskatchewan Roughriders. And, of course, all CFL offensive lineman Jacob Bramer is returning to the club in 2026. On the slate tonight in the PJHL, we got the Regina Silver Foxes at the Regina Capitals. Scotty Tournament of Hearts continues. Saskatchewan's rank is represented by Jolene Campbell of Regina. In Pool A, they improved to 2-1 this morning with a narrow 6-5 victory over Nikki Kaufman from the Northwest Territories in her rink. They will be playing one more match this evening against the 1-3 Quebec rink. In the NHL, there is 4 games on the schedule. Just one Canadian team, though. The Anaheim Ducks are in Edmonton. By the way, I should mention the surging Anaheim Ducks are taking on the Edmonton Oilers, and we will be having our wonderful friend Ryder from Oilersnation joining us a little bit later on. Plenty to dissect when we head into this game this evening. Sportscage.com poll. Who is the greatest goal scorer and goal scorer? That was apparently a very difficult thing for me to say. In NHL history. Okay, so you can vote at sportscage.com. Couple of options here. The first of which being Gordie Howe, Wayne Gretzky, Sidney Crosby, Alex Ovechkin, Connor McDavid. What do you think, Dave?
I'm biased. I go Gretzky. like Gordie Howe was good. It was a different era. Gretzky played again when it was wide open.
True.
I don't know why I'm not a big...
Pads were a bit different back then, too.
Yeah. Goaltending entirely different. You have to give Alexander Ovechkin his due, but I don't know why I don't. Sidney Crosby scores big goals, but again, he was part of clutch and grab era.
True.
So when goal scoring was really, really low, but Crosby persevered, and I think it's too early for McDavid.
I agree that it's too early for McDavid, but I think he'll get there. I think he will be in that conversation as his career progresses, but I'm going to challenge you on this.
Okay.
Gordie Howe has a hat trick named after him.
Yeah, very
How
true.
is he not the leading scorer of all time in NHL history? He's absolutely iconic. Maybe I'm a little biased because he's from Saskatchewan, as am I.
His longevity speaks for itself, right?
Yeah, iconic.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So I'm going with Gordie Howe. That's my vote.
I do not. Is there a wrong option amongst them aside from I was going to say Crosby, but Ovechkin?
There is a wrong answer. It's the one that I don't pick.
Yeah, okay, fair enough. But I'm curious. And again, it's Wayne Gretzky's 65th birthday today, right? So
65, hey?
Yeah.
So he can officially retire now.
he can collect his CPP, I believe, as of today.
Okay. Wow. Well, that makes, yep.
I don't know. Does he get his old age pension too? Someone will be able to correct me and tell me.
I'm pretty sure he would, but is he living in Canada? Is that a requirement? Do you still have to be a resident of Canada?
I think you just have to have paid in, don't you? And he would have done that when he was working in Edmonton. Air quotes working.
Yeah, working. Right? I'm willing to bet he probably isn't too concerned.
No, I think he might be okay.
He might be all right.
He might be okay, but it's just the idea that Wayne Gretzky is 65.
Yeah. Wow. It's a lot of hockey. A lot of hockey played. Well, happy birthday to Wayne Gretzky, but I'm still going with Gordie Howe. I'm sorry. Greatest goal scorer in NHL history. Let us know what you think.
There you go.
Sportscage.com. Speaking of hockey, we are also giving away those Pats and Warriors tickets for Saturday night. So make sure that you text us 306-936-6262 on the Prairie Land Rentals text line. All right, we're going to have to take a quick break here, and then we'll be back on the other side. We got your news coming up, and then Ryder from Oilersnation, specifically the Sauce podcast, will be joining us on the other side of 4 o'clock. This is the Sportscage, and it's on the home of local sports on 620 CKRM and streaming at sportscage.com.
Debt can take over your life. The stress, the constant worry, it can feel like you're drowning. When people come to see me, they're often anxious and feeling hopeless. But when I explain how I can help them get out of debt, those feelings melt away. I'm Jasmine Brown, a licensed insolvency trustee at BDO here in Regina. I will create a personalized debt relief plan so you can move forward with confidence. Call 1-833-BDO-TALK or visit bdodebt.ca to discover your debt-free future.
You know that January feeling, desperate for sun that won't max out your credit card. Sell-Off Vacations half-off sale makes it possible, offering up to 50% off sun vacations. The experts at Sell-Off Vacations have also tested these resorts personally, so you know exactly what you're getting. Quality getaways at pricing that works. Reserve yours before prices go up after February 1st by speaking to your travel expert or visiting selloffvacations.com.
Back to our regular spot, Pump Jacks Cathedral.
You know, I thought Pump Jacks was a kind of boot polish till last month.
What are you getting?
Kerwin's crispy ribs and a cold pint of local craft. Crispy, meaty, beautiful.
You had me at meaty.
Plus, we got live music on the weekends, big screens. This place is basically my second marriage.
And way cheaper than the first.
On the corner of Albert and 13th, Pump Jacks Cathedral Saloon and Steakhouse. Come early, stay late. The place where friends meet.
From the towers to the tractors, country's greatest hits. 620 CKRM, a Harvard media station.
It's 4 o'clock. Good afternoon. I'm Corey Atkinson from the SaskToday.ca newsroom with your 620 CKRM news for Bronco Plumbing and Heating, where professional service is guaranteed. They'll treat you right. 781-2090. The opposition NDP is urging the province to ditch a review into hospital safety and instead act quickly on the issue. Last week, Premier Scott Moe's Saskatchewan party government announced a review into hospital security while installing metal detectors in some emergency rooms. But the NDP said the provincial auditor had already pointed out those issues a year ago. NDP health critic Mira Conway says the province's announcement was performative.
This was a reactive photo op to quell another crisis. This government's specialty, a performative announcement. This is not leadership. It is a complete failure by Scott Moe and his government.
The province has said it's installing metal detectors in hospitals in 4 cities to deter people from coming in with weapons. Carmichael Outreach shut its doors briefly today after a pepper spray discharge inside the facility raised safety concerns. The incident happened around 9 a.m. in an enclosed area, leading staff to close the building for cleaning and fresh air. Director of Development Janice Miller said no one was hurt. Crews worked quickly to air out the space, and the center planned to reopen later so service could continue for guests during cold weather.
So we just took the precaution to close for a few hours to make sure we do a good cleaning and a good airing out of the space so that we can reopen as soon as possible to provide a warm place, especially during this cold weather.
Miller said safety remained the top priority for staff and visitors inside the Outreach building. Police have charged a Regina man after a break-and-enter at a Winnipeg Street business early Friday morning. Officers were called at around 5 a.m. to the 1500 block of Winnipeg Street, where a suspect stole a vehicle and merchandise. The stolen vehicle was later found on Athol Street, and a 41-year-old man was arrested without incident. The suspect appeared in Regina Provincial Court this morning following charges today. The Conservative Party says it won't stand in the way of giving relief to Canadians. Conservative Party House Leader and Regina Area MP Andrew Scheer says his party will support a temporary hike to the GST credit, so long as the government doesn't try to pass through any unrelated motions along with the bill. However, Scheer says the hike won't help in the long run.
Today's announcement is a recycled Trudeau-era policy. It will not permanently provide relief. It is a temporary measure. I believe it won't even cover one trip to the grocery store for an average working family.
The government says with this hike, the average family of four would receive roughly $1,900 this year and about $1,400 annually for the next 4 years. And a new interactive film made in Regina is giving audiences control over the story. Singleness by filmmaker Aaron Sinclair follows a character named Seth as he navigates modern dating. Viewers choose options that create different story branches and endings. Filming took place over several days at Regina businesses and restaurants. Sinclair says the community support helped bring the project to life. He says he hopes to shoot more interactive films in the future. That was your 620 CKRM News. Read more stories from around your community and around the province at sasktoday.ca and 620ckrm.com.
Winter's coming. Is your home ready? At Bronco Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling, they install high-efficiency brine furnaces that keep your family cozy while saving energy and money. Their professional team takes care of everything, from installation to long-term service, so your home stays warm for years to come. Call 781-2090 or visit broncoplumbing.com today. Bronco Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling, and Bryant, whatever it takes.
Weather for Linex Regina. Serious protection, killer looks, 1865 McCarra Street. Wind gusting out of the northwest 50 to 30 kilometers tonight, dropping to a low of minus 28. Tomorrow, partly sunny, breezy, and a high of minus 17. For Wednesday, partly sunny, light wind, and a high of minus 14. Thursday, mostly sunny and a high of minus 14 as well. And Friday, mostly sunny with a high of minus 10.
For 40 years, the team from Linex Regina has been protecting vehicles across Saskatchewan, and we're changing with the times. 3 generations of our family have protected your vehicles. Our business has evolved, and we're not stopping now. The next generation is here. Same family, same commitment, ready for the next generation of truck beds, rocker panels, trailers, bumpers, and running boards in all kinds of colors. Linex Regina, 1865 McCarra Street, the next generation of protective coatings.
Broadcasting from Century Studios in downtown Regina, Harvard Media presents The Sportscage, where Saskatchewan comes to talk local sports. Brought to you by Kellen Solar, 35 years of experience, moving water from a dugout or well without electricity. Visit kellensolar.com to find out more about your livestock operation. Be part of the show. Call 1-866-767-0620 or text 306-936-6262. The Sports Cage. Streaming at sportscage.com, our YouTube channel, and on the radio at 620 CKRM.
Appreciate you taking the time on the Monday edition of The Sports Cage. Of course, I am your Monday host, Tegan Wicko. I am joined alongside Mr. Dave Thomas, your voice of the Saskatchewan Roughriders, and Colson Schultz, keeping us on the air, on the stream at sportscage.com, as well as our YouTube, our X account as well. And we do have a fancy new camera here, so if you're not watching the stream, then you missed out on that. I love that thing. It's like a spy cam up in the corner.
It was like the overhead cam. They're going to do replay later to find out who was onside and who was offside, just so you're aware.
Oh, good to know. That's how they're going to air check us going forward, hey?
That's right.
Okay, I like that. You can always join in the conversation with us as well on the Prairie Land Rentals text line. Whatever you need to get the job done, Prairie Land Rentals probably has it. Also, an official Husqvarna snow thrower dealer, and you might as well deal with the owner. Locally owned right here, 600 Albert Street in Regina. So go hit them up. And a bunch of people already texting in for a chance to win those Pats and Warriors tickets this Saturday at the Brand Center. Just simply send in the word Pats along with your first and last name. Now, there was a texter that messaged us, and I was very confused because they alluded to Barney, and they said, yeah, go Pats. Said, well, first of all, Barney's not in today. He'll be in Tuesday to Friday. And then I realized they were talking about the New England Patriots.
Oh.
Not the Regina Pats, because if you're, again, watching the stream, there is a very wrinkled New England flag right behind me on the TV screen here. So that makes a lot of sense. But, okay, so we won't be putting that person's name in for the Regina Pats tickets.
Understood.
But you can still get in on the draw here. 306-936 62-62. Still plenty to come this afternoon with your Clutch Performer. That's about half an hour away. We got your sprinkle of the day. Crofty, he's going to be making a guest appearance here before 5 o'clock. Darian Durant just after 5. And then, of course, Pat's chat with Bryce Bunz. But before we get to all of that, we got to head out on the Western Pizza guest hotline here. It is the Greek pizza.
There you go.
That threw me off.
Pulsing on it again.
I was complaining that he didn't play it earlier, and then it scared me.
Mm-hmm.
I digress. Western Pizza. It's known worldwide for a reason. It is famous around the world. Their pizza is delicious, plus all the Greek and Canadian food you cannot get enough of. Western Pizza, the local legend. Joining us now, all the way from Edmonton, Alberta, from Oilersnation, a host on our sister station, Ryder. Thanks for joining us, buddy.
Oh. Hello, thank you for having me. Studio looks good.
Oh, thanks, except for this ugly flag behind me, right? This Patriots flag can go.
I was thinking how unprofessional it looks that I'm calling you from the living room, but I haven't got my home studio up and running yet, so.
Well, I mean, Ryder's a little bit busy. You got the Sauce podcast keeping you busy with your partner in crime, Lisa, there. I know you also do some other radio shows on some of our sister stations here, so I do appreciate you taking the time. Talk a little Oilers hockey.
Yeah, they're keeping me busy too. I think 16 games in January, so it feels like every second night we've got another game, which has been it's been great leading up to the Olympic break. Should be nice.
Yeah, you got to jam in all of those games before they take that Olympic break. Now, the first thing I want to start with, Ryder, Bouchard. Okay, historic performance on the weekend. First defensive player in, I think, 2 decades, only 7th defenseman in Oilers history to get a Hattie. Remember all those haters earlier in the season? What do you say to them?
I mean, I feel like they might have been onto something earlier in the season. He did start off pretty bad, but even his bad is better than most's good. So I think a lot of the haters, it is quite surprising how negative they are about his play, because you see games like that out of him. I mean, we haven't seen a game like that out of him, but you see great performances constantly. And like in the playoffs last year, he was absolute, like locked in offensively, defensively. He's a beast on the power play. I do feel like if he was in an American city and there wasn't such a spotlight on him, that he'd probably be on Team Canada this year. He should be. And probably get a lot less flack about those mistakes. But everybody here has their phones out recording him, hoping he makes a mistake so they can post it on Instagram.
Yeah. Well, and as you mentioned, you got a jam-packed schedule for the Oilers heading into that Olympic break. So how important was that win for the team?
It felt big because it would have been 3 in a row that we lost, and we were looking at like that section even at the start of the season, and it looked like it was just going to be where we could pad some stats, like a lot of home games in a row, a nice like 8 or 9 game home stretch, and we also had 4 of them, I think. The team was coming off playing in Calgary the night before and then rolling in here tired. So, 500 isn't good enough for January. And when you lose 3 in a row, all of a sudden 500 is starting to sound good. So it just felt like it, as far as middle of January games go, they don't always feel that important, but this one kind of did. And it was a nice comeback win. And hopefully they can build off of it going into a big game tonight against Anaheim, who is oddly really good this year.
How difficult is it to be an Edmonton Oiler? Like, good grief. You made the Stanley Cup final each of the last 2 years, but hearing what you're saying, Ryder, I get the impression that fans take pictures of the way the Oilers park their cars in the parking lot at practice to just critique something.
Yeah, it feels like this used to really be just known as a sports town. Everything was well supported from the Golden Bears to junior hockey, and over the last few years, it feels like it's just really become an Oilers city and then everybody else. I mean, the Riverhawks are pretty well supported. I think if the Elks could put together a winning season here, we'd start to see those stands fill up a bit more again. But the spotlight is on. It's on the Oilers. So they have a bad night. I mean, everybody knows about it. Their neighbors probably texting them about it. Like, it's just everybody's locked into the games. We know what time the games are going to start. You got your bets in. You're texting your buddies about it. This town kind of shuts down when the Oilers are playing.
Well, it's the old Charlestown Chiefs, right, from Slapshot the movie, right? We know who owns the Oilers, but do we know who's the starting goalie? Because there's 3 of them there, and nobody's running away with it.
Yeah, I think we know it's not Pickard at this point. I think most of the fan base seemed to be pretty excited about the Jari and Ingram duo, and we've seen a lot of like decent duos around here. I think back to like when Mike Smith was going in, and he could like handle the puck so well, and it was so different than Koskinen at the time. But Koskinen would put up good games, other than letting in the first shot every game. But now, yeah, it seems like maybe we found our duo. It wasn't the best performance on Saturday night, but I also think when you're playing the Washington Capitals, if you're having a bit of an off night, they can make it look pretty rough.
Anaheim comes in. Boy, they're hot. 7 wins in a row. They're third place in the Pacific Division, right behind the Oilers. What do the Oilers need to do to make a statement in this game?
I think it was just a couple games ago against the Penguins where they let in 3 goals in 37 seconds. So I would say maybe do the opposite of what they did against the Penguins. A good start. If you can keep the game tight, we've seen it a ton of times this season, and either the other team gets a penalty or it's the last 2 minutes of the game. We've got the guys that are just better, and they kind of save just a little bit. And can look absolutely terrifying to the other team if we're in a position to win. So, like close games, I like our chances. Overtime, I like our chances. And hopefully play off the fact that Anaheim was in Calgary last night and might have their road legs on them.
That seems to be a bit of a thread, right? Road teams coming into Edmonton from Calgary, and it's always going to be an interesting matchup, especially when you have a hot team coming in to Oil Town. But I'm curious, as someone who actually lives with a Calgary Flames fan, Ryder, why do I want to be an Oilers fan? Sell me on it.
I mean, if you enjoy watching greatness, it's hard to beat that. I go down to Rogers Place and I can't believe I'm graced this opportunity. It feels like I'm in Chicago in the 90s watching MJ. As McDavid is just so elite. It's mind-blowing. Like, worth the price of admission alone just to go and watch him do his thing. But I mean, I genuinely love the team I have for a long time. There was a lot of years where it was kind of tricky to be a fan or to spend money to go down to the rink when you knew it was probably going to be a loss. But right now, this is what the payoff for me for being a fan as long as I have been is getting to watch this team. And Draisaitl's just magnificent. Bouchard, you look what he did, like 6 points and a hat trick for a defenseman. He had 8 shots that night too. Like, he could have been on Gagne's trail when Gagne had that 8-point night the way he was playing, and even the pass in overtime that he made to get it up to McDavid while falling down. Like, I don't know. Every time I go there, unless we get blown up like the Pittsburgh game, it feels like I'm just getting to go watch greatness, win or lose.
You mentioned a lot of players' names in that response, and there is a lot of talented hockey players on this roster. But I wanted to get your take on Zach Hyman. Do you feel as though maybe that was an Olympic snub there? Do you feel like he should maybe be considered if a spot opens up on the team?
Yeah, I mean, to me, you look at what they decided to do in 2010, and it was let Kunitz tag along because Crosby knew how to play with them. And you do see, like at the Four Nations, I felt this way with McDavid, that they spent half the tournament trying to find somebody that could play with them. And I think the tricky part is you not only have to keep up with his feet, but he's thinking 3 steps ahead of everybody else. So I know that they tried some other guys on his line over the years here in Edmonton and internationally, and it's just hard to find somebody that gels with him immediately. Marner managed to do decent in the Four Nations with him, so I wouldn't be surprised if those two end up playing some shifts together. But Hyman has figured out where to be, even if he goes and stands in front of the net and McDavid just banks it off of his face. He's there. And over the last 20 games, I think he's the leading goal scorer in the NHL, the last I checked. Like 17 goals in his last 21 games. Other than when he was injured, he was on pace for like 60 goals over the last year. He kills penalties. He is great on the power play. You can trust him to go out and get 8-10 hits a game and not take a stupid penalty. I have no understanding of why he wasn't a shoe-in onto that team.
without taking a stupid penalty. I feel like you're looking right at me as a Canucks fan and Evander Kane, but I'll leave that there for now.
Or truthfully, Tom Wilson too. Like, I get he's an amazing player, but with 4 minutes left, I don't know. I'd trust Hyman out there more not to take a penalty that could lose you the tournament. I do like Tom Wilson, and I'm glad he's on the team as well. But there are some guys like that can get themselves in trouble.
Well, I think Tom Wilson's high note of the season was in Edmonton. Or no, sorry, wrong. Anyways, what I was going to say when it comes to the Olympic break, though, and you mentioned Zach Hyman, you mentioned Evan Bouchard, is it a little bit of a blessing in disguise that they're not going to the Olympics? They played a lot of hockey the last 2 years, and if they get a break, that could be dangerous.
Yeah, I mean, I was originally really disappointed, and I thought there was a chance that even they take that whole Oilers first line with Nuge as well, especially with how much you can trust him in all situations. And so when they actually rolled out the team, and it was pretty much just the Four Nations team again, I was pretty disappointed as an Oilers fan, but the more we post about it, the comment sections are filled with, no, this is the best news ever. Hyman could use the break, Nuge could use the break, Bouchard could use the break, like... We know that Leon's probably going to be getting 45 minutes a night for Team Germany, and Connor, is probably going to get his fair share of ice time as well. So I guess it is a bit of a blessing in disguise. Personally, I'd rather see at least 2 or 3 of them that made Team Canada, but we'll take McDavid.
McDavid, that could be a low end at 45 minutes for Draisaitl. Like, the only guy that'll get more ice time in Germany is the goalie, potentially, because that could even change.
Yeah.
So when you're looking at, again, you talked about January, what a busy schedule it is. The best part is it's at home for the Oilers. It seemed like they were on the road so much to start the season. So is there some concern in the fact that 500 seems to be acceptable?
I think there's some concern. At the start of the season, we've had bad starts before, and this one, it just seemed like it was just as much the scheduling as anything else. But you kind of thought that they'd go on another heater again. I mean, last year was 16 in a row around this time of year. I didn't expect that again. But 500 at this point, thank goodness we're in the Pacific Division and not the Central, because if you end up first, second, or third, you likely, if you're in second, that means Vegas is probably first. So you avoid the Golden Knights. We don't have to cross over and play, Colorado, Minnesota, if until like later rounds. I think it would be the third round likely. So I think first, second, or third is good in the Pacific. You got a really good chance, even if you're the road team. The Oilers have the experience over the last couple of years. And like I said, in those close games, if you can lean in on that firepower in the last minute or two, like McDavid, Draisaitl, Hyman, they'll probably get it done. So it doesn't scare me too much looking ahead at playoffs. It's just kind of get yourself into first, second, or third. I'd want to avoid a wild card spot, because then you might end up with Colorado in the first round. But 500 is it good enough? I guess for regular season it is, and then you hope just every round it's a little better than 500. That's all you need.
And to go back a little bit to the microscope that these players are put under in a market like Edmonton, we see it just as bad out in Toronto. If not, it might even be worse, dare I say. So I need to get your take on what happened with Nylander over the weekend. Of course, the camera, it pans to a bunch of the players up in the suite box, and he then proceeds to flip the bird. Now, ended up issuing an apology afterwards, but that was kind of just, in my opinion, being someone who was not a Leafs fan, that was kind of telling about the leadership and that vibe, I guess, for lack of a better term, in the dressing room. But then I was thinking about it, McDavid would never do something like that. So maybe what's the contrast there of what the players bring to the table in terms of that quote-unquote vibe and leadership?
Yeah, I mean, the first time I watched it, I laughed, but then I realized that, I'm not a kid that idolizes him or a parent with a kid in the room that idolizes Willie Nylander. So then I realized, okay, that's a pretty bad move, but I also can totally see myself doing it. You just try to be silly, impress your buddies beside you. You flip the bird once in a while, but yeah, when it comes to you look at Toronto and you look at Edmonton, I think the expectation that maybe is a precedent that was set from Gretzky and Messier and the legacy of this city. The hockey team takes itself pretty seriously. I mean, when Nail Yakupov was drafted here to the Oilers, I got shirts made up to give away on the radio show, and they were like lady cut shirts, and it said "I want a Nail Yakupov," and I'd just give them to caller 64 every game or whatever. And the Oilers found out about it, and I got a cease and desist, and we had to actually destroy the shirts and show them proof. So they take
Did you have a
themselves maybe
bonfire
even
or
a little.
what?
We burnt them. So they take themselves maybe even a little bit too seriously, but I think in situations like that, the players would know better. Most guys in the NHL, you got to think, would know better than that. But I'm sure as soon as he did it, he was probably like, what the hell am I doing?
Well, and I got to think about it from like a coaching perspective. These guys are typically complaining that, oh, we're always in the spotlight. We're always in the spotlight. Toronto media is terrible. Well, you're kind of doing it to yourself at that point, are you not?
Yeah, he almost seemed surprised that he was on camera. He's like, hey, look it, guys. But aren't you always on camera in Toronto? Like, there's wall-to-wall coverage on TSN of what they had for breakfast. You'd think they'd get used to the camera.
Well, it's like going to a Raptors game, sitting courtside and thinking, oh, well, I'm not going to make it on the broadcast.
Right.
See, the devastating part of this story is that when I moved here, as I was told that was the Regina Ring Road salute, I didn't think there was anything wrong with it. But when I do want to get your opinion, though, but you talked about Colorado. You mentioned Colorado, and obviously Colorado is going to put the fear in anybody right now, the way that they're playing. But is Vegas slowly making themselves into that next team that you should be scared of in the West, just because somehow way through a series of IOUs and car wash tokens, they stay underneath the salary cap with everybody that they seem to be able to bring in? But I would be scared.
Yeah, it's just surprising to me that every year, whoever the number one free agent is going to be, whoever like the biggest name on the trade bait board is, Vegas is always in the mix, whether they get them or not. Like, I don't remember the last time the Oilers were in the mix for a big name at the trade deadline. And why? Like, now that this city has seemed to become a place that you can sign free agents to because they want to play with the best players in the world, you'd think that sell off some of the team. But yeah, Vegas, what they put together every year is very scary. And I mean, the year on their cup run, they managed to wipe us out on their way there. It seems like we're pretty good at losing to the team that wins the Stanley Cup, but it would be nice to see the Oilers healthy in a series like that. I'd still probably think that they take it, but you add Rasmus Andersson to that lineup, and obviously with his ties to the Flames all the years, we watched a lot of him. He's a pretty special defenseman. So yeah, that team got a lot more scary just with that trade.
So Dave dug up a little something. For those who don't know, of course, Ryder is joining us from the Sauce podcast on Oilersnation, and we noticed that you had quite an interesting conversation recently with the Tiger King.
Yeah.
How did that happen? How did that come to be?
He reached out to us.
From jail?
Don't understand that. Yeah, I think my buddy ended up like writing him on Instagram a couple years ago and just wishing him well. Like my buddy must have been drinking and watching Tiger King and sent a little shout out to him. And so he reached out because the Tiger King responded at that point to him and just said, thank you so much. Like, God bless, whatever. So my buddy reached out again and said, hey, it's been a long time. My friends have a podcast. I'm sure they'd love to promote your Valentine's Day special, because for 50 American, Joe Exotic will call your partner on Valentine's Day and just leave them a loving message or whatever. I don't know how he's running a business from jail. That doesn't seem like it's allowed at jail, but sure enough, he says, yeah, I'd love to jump on your friend's podcast. So we had a 20-minute conversation with the Tiger King, which if you would have told me that while I was watching the show 2 years ago, like you're going to have the chance to interview this guy, I would have been pretty pumped up.
Scratch that off the bucket list, I guess.
Yeah.
Jeez. That's probably the weirdest call that you've ever taken coming from the sin bin and what you do.
I mean, we get a lot of calls from the jails in the area, and it's always interesting because they'll always request songs and send it out to all their buddies in their cell block. But they all have really unique, interesting nicknames. Like it'll be like, can you send this Akon song out to Skinny Pete and Razor Blade Rick and Double Homicide Henry and like.
I would have bet that was a lot of Whitney Houston or Mariah Carey, but okay.
Number 1 in inmates 18 to 34. Congratulations. Hell of a job.
I actually believe our station, our show, used to run a little splitter in between music that said number 1 in the remand center.
Oh my gosh. You've made it, Ryder. You have absolutely made it.
Wow. That is so awesome. There is no level of awesomeness that I can compare that to.
No.
No.
Well,
I can't top that.
When we launched our show on Oilers Nation, we're the first show that they're ever like trying out that isn't just sports. So like all the other shows are kind of sports and entertainment. They wanted one that was more entertainment and sports. Like we'll talk hockey if big things happen, but we also just kind of try to feel the vibe of the city. And if a lot of people are talking hockey, playoff runs, for example, I'm sure it'll be wall-to-wall Oilers chat. But it is interesting when you see people that are used to nothing but Oilers talk that come over to the Instagram page and are like, what the hell is Joe Exotic doing on here?
You got to keep them on their toes. Come on, Ryder. You can't be predictable. That's when it gets boring.
Right.
Well, Ryder from the Sauce Podcast from Oilers Nation, thank you so much for doing this, buddy. We'll have to do it again sometime soon.
Yeah, sounds great. Thanks for having me, guys.
And make sure that you go check out the interview that he had with the Tiger King.
The Tiger King. Joe Exotic.
Something I thought I would never say
Joe
on this show.
Exotic.
But yeah, okay. The Tiger King. Love it. Okay, we'll talk soon, buddy.
Yeah, see you later, guys.
Check it out. The Sauce Podcast, Ryder from Oilers Nation, Ryder and Lisa. You can check out their show anywhere that you find your podcasts. That was a fun chat. I'm kind of jealous. I wish I could have talked to the Tiger King. Joe Exotic would be a fun interview.
No way, really?
I feel like I'd have to go back and rewatch the show.
And that in its own right would be torture, let alone having to have a conversation with him. Like, Don't get me wrong. I would listen to somebody else talking to him, but I don't know what I'd ask him.
Just don't bring up Carol Baskin.
No, absolutely not.
Or do. I don't know. That could make for some really good content.
But yeah, but doesn't that see again, I don't have a lot of interactions with the corrections service, but to me it does seem to be a touch odd that you could run a full-blown business out of jail. But that might just be me. I could be wrong.
It seems highly illegal.
The movies that I've seen seem to indicate that wouldn't be the case. But I don't know.
Who are we to know? We just talk on a radio show.
That's right.
That's all we do. And we're streaming at sportscage.com. It is the Monday edition of the Sports Cage, and thanks again to Ryder for popping on here. It's brought to you by Kelton Solar, installing solar in residential and commercial buildings for 35 years, local and trusted. Visit keltonsolar.com. We do still have plenty on the go. Let me see here. Pats chat around 5:30. We're going to have Bryce Bunz joining us, talking about the upcoming Regina Pats skills competition. That's tomorrow night at the Brand Center. Later this week, the Regina Pats also hosting the Moose Jaw Warriors. So if you want to be in the draw for a chance to win some free tickets to that, all you have to do is text us. The Prairie Line Rentals text line is 306-936-6262. Nice and easy. Just send in the word Pats and then your first and last name. Again, 306-936-6262. Darian Durant still coming up on the other side of 5 o'clock. But before we get to your 5 o'clock news, still a few things on the horizon here, including our clutch performers. We also have your sprinkle of the day. And, of course, the Sports Ticker will tee up everything happening in the world of sports tonight. First, let's take a quick break. We'll be back on the other side. This is the Sports Cage on the home of local sports on 620 CKRM and streaming at sportscage.com.
When it comes to money, you can bet that everyone has questions. What's going on in the markets? When is the right time to invest? What should you do with your money today? When Len had questions, he talked to Brian Gawley.
Anytime I have any concerns, I'll either send him an email or text him, and he gets back to me right away. But he's still very forthright. gets back to me right away and lets me know how things are going.
Don't guess with your money this RRSP season. Call Brian Gawley at Smart Investing Solutions, 546-2533.
I would recommend them to anyone.
The 4th annual Rough Rider Foundation Winter Classic Hockey Game is back. Join in on Saturday, January 31st, 1 p.m. at Merlis Belcher Place and watch current and former Rough Riders, NHL alumni, and celebrity guests face off on the ice. And the Grey Cup will be there too. Grab your Winter Classic tickets at riders5050.ca. And while you're there, check out the Winter Breakaway 50/50 with awesome prizes including big cash and a trip to see the Blue Jays season opener. The Winter Classic is presented by McDougall Auctioneers.
Winter in Saskatchewan tests everything, our patience, vehicles, and sometimes our bumpers. From icy parking lot dings to serious highway mishaps, choosing local matters. At Regina Motor Products Collision Center, we're Saskatchewan owned, run, and we drive these roads too. An SGI accredited full-service collision center working on all makes and models. Submit your SGI claim and book your appraisal. It's easy. When you need repairs you can trust, it's neighbors helping neighbors. Regina Motor Products Collision Center, south at Highways 1 and 6 Albert Street, rmpchevrolet.com.
The Sportscage Clutch Performer, brought to you by Kellen Solar. 35 years of experience, moving water from a dugout or well without electricity. Visit kellensolar.com to find out more about your livestock operation.
Yes, so this is the time of day where we like to salute the clutch performers. Every now and then we will go with an unclutch performer, but I actually have a positive story to share today. So we're going to go with clutch.
Look at you go.
Not unclutch. It's
shaking
a Monday.
The negativity of weeks past. Congratulations.
I've only done
a new leaf.
I've only done an unclutch maybe once or twice.
There was a streak.
There was a bit of a streak.
It was a noticeable streak.
Well, that's how you cope with Mondays, Dave.
Fair enough. I will back out and allow you to unveil your clutch performer.
Okay. Well, my name is Tegan Whitco, your Monday host. That's Dave Thomas, voice of your Saskatchewan Roughriders, and Colson Schultz behind the board, keeping us on the air and on the stream. So, yes, I want to start with our clutch performer, Kellen Solar. I'm going to go first. This one goes to 18-year-old rookie Ben Kindle, ending a 19-game goal drought in front of 180 friends and family in attendance in Vancouver, his home province of BC. Yeah. Scores twice for the Penguins in his homecoming. Held on for a big win there as well. Sorry, Dave. I did not intentionally pick a clutch performer who beat the Canucks, but they're pretty easy to come by these days.
That is very true. But it's pretty cool that you can perform. Like, there's got to be some pressure and expectation when you've got that many family and friends, right? Coming to see you at
Nearly
18 years old.
200 of them?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a lot of pressure, but he showed up. 2 goals there. Nice night for Ben Kindle. So
good for him.
You got one?
Chris Chippick of the Red Pheasant First Nation. If you missed the story last week, Chris, of course, he created the Indigenous logo and the branding. Both there's 2 different, slightly different variations. I don't know if anyone can pick it out or not in the coloring. But anyways,
well,
Chris,
one's all green and then one has more color, right?
That's right. So Chris has gone ahead and he's the creator behind this, and he put it forward, and it has become such a I don't want to say valuable because that's the wrong adjective, but it has been received so highly that the Saskatchewan Roughriders were able to make a $60,000 donation and the Saskatchewan Roughrider Foundation to go ahead and help youngsters attend school in the First Nations University of Canada. They announced it last week. Again, $60K is incredible. To have the ability to create something that is able to grasp and go ahead and capture people's imagination and innovation is pretty cool. So, Chris, hats off to you, clutch performer.
That is a solid clutch performer.
Thank you very much.
And, we had an opportunity to actually speak with Chris over the past 2 seasons when he joined us in the Sportscage Lounge at Mosaic Stadium heading into those games where that Indigenous logo was actually featured. Yep, so if you ever want to go back and listen to the inspiration and the conversation that we had with Chris, you can always find those broadcasts. Just go back a little bit, search it up on YouTube. We always have those.
There you go.
Okay, Chris Chippak. Okay, Colson, you got one?
I got a few.
Oh, I like this.
All right,
Let's
ready.
go.
Time to relax.
Ryan and Curtis, for all the work they did in the studio, because there's 3 cameras on screen now. That's something we couldn't do before, so they did a lot of things, making all this stuff happen.
It's weird hearing you call him Ryan.
Fair enough.
It's always Mosh to me. It's Mosh. But yes, solid one.
Yes, and then my other one, I have to go find the clip of it now, but Toronto Raptors had a pretty big win, and clutch performer goes to Scotty Barnes with a game-sealing block.
Oh,
Yeah.
Scotty B.
I read that he has got 23 fourth quarter blocks this year, 8 of which have come in like the last 2 minutes of games. So he's showing up in big moments. So
if there's a definition of clutch, that's clutch.
That's definitely it.
Clutch.
Yeah.
See, and if only Nylander didn't flip the bird to the camera this weekend, more people would have heard about Scotty Barnes.
True.
Would have been nice. Don't steal his thunder. Come on.
Nylander did apologize, though, so we should all forget. It never happened.
Still doesn't make him a clutch performer.
I don't know if that's what it means.
No.
I don't know if apology means it doesn't happen or hadn't happened, but.
Oh, it happened. It's all over the internet.
Who do you think told him or asked him to apologize? Like, or did he do it on his own?
He would. Their communications person. 100%.
So?
Probably came as soon as they saw him on the big screen. They beelined it right upstairs to the suite and said, dude, what are you thinking?
Yeah.
I'm willing to bet that's exactly how it unfolded. And then, of course, the communications and the PR team, they'd sit down and construct exactly what they want to say in the statement. Like, you've been around sports long enough, Dave. You kind of know how this thing works.
Do you think the general manager or the coach would factor in on that?
Not during the game. At least I would hope not.
I would hope that's not what's on the TV for Berube at his feet. I'm just saying, but you think it would go that high up? Right? Like, would there be...
I'm sure they were made aware of it.
I'm curious if the NHL is going to do anything.
Like a fine?
Yeah, they've talked about it.
Yeah? For that? I don't know if that's egregious enough to warrant a fine. Obviously, it's televised. I'm not sure if it made it on the broadcast. I just saw everything after the fact. But there is that disclaimer when you're watching a live sporting event.
Well,
you know, you're probably going to hear an F-bomb or two, and they can't really control what the players are saying on the ice if the mics happen to pick that up.
No, that's right? So, but you can fine for on-ice infractions. Can you fine for off-ice infractions? Like if you're the NHL, I don't think you can. But maybe the Toronto Maple Leafs themselves as a team could.
I don't think... Would you fine your own player, though?
Well...
There's definitely like codes of conduct with the team, right?
Yeah.
Because like the Riders have fined players and stuff.
See it?
Yeah, it happens in the CFL.
Yeah, and I think it's definitely happened in the NHL.
There's sometimes, and so sometimes you can go ahead and have accountability, but it can be lighthearted accountability. Does that make sense? So a team that I covered has had what they call the kangaroo court, right? So to try to break it down in layman's terms, say that there's a big swear jar.
Okay.
In the middle of the room, right? And so you were fined for not showing up on time, or you might be fined for not wearing a tie when you should have worn a tie when you were walking into the arena, or whatever the case might be, right? So they call it kangaroo court. Everybody has a good belly laugh at it, but it's also a form of accountability. So basically you are charging your own players. Now, the funds for that team in specific, and again, we're not talking hundreds of thousands of dollars, which might happen in the NHL. But for that team, the funds then just went to a local charity at the end of it all, right? Everybody had a good laugh. Accountability was had. Away you go. Team bonding kind of thing. Maybe something like that happens.
I would like to think so, because I know even here internally during the start of the Ryder season last year, you and I were having some struggles getting our broadcast name right because we recently made a change.
Yes, that's right.
Yeah, I know Colson was keeping count for a little while. Because every time we made a mistake, it was a virtual dollar into the jar, but I don't think we ever physically tallied up how many dollars we should have donated.
Still waiting on my payment.
Isn't that amazing? It was a virtual dollar. That's right. That's the best form of accountability right there. Virtual.
Tell you what, I'll cut you a check after the show.
That's right. Make sure you put 2026 on your check, right?
Well, because I know that I definitely made more mistakes than you did.
I just like to... Who writes a check?
I don't even think I have checks, honestly.
Yeah, I know. Sorry.
E-transfer, that's 2026
there
for you.
Go.
Okay, that somehow was your clutch performer brought to you by Keln Solar. I think we got to take a quick break here. Yeah. We're going to be back right on the other side. It's the Sports Cage, and it's on the home of local sports, 620 CKRM, and streaming at sportscage.com.
If you've got a Steelcraft garage door, you've got a door with parts manufactured and assembled right here in Canada. A door with better insulation and seal, plus a warranty you're probably never going to use. And if you don't have a Steelcraft garage door, you should get one. Don't just hang a door, install a Steelcraft. Turn curb appeal into curb envy.
Steelcraft door, Steelcraft door, Steelcraft door. We offer more.
Steel-craft.ca.
When you play Sports Select, you're part of more than the game. You're backing over 12,000 sport, culture, and recreation groups across Saskatchewan funded through Sask Lotteries. So go ahead, make your picks at sportselect.com, generate your QR code, and lock in your bet at your local Lotto Spot retailer. Every play is 100% legal, and every ticket supports your community. Sports Select. When you're ready to play, bet on the original. Must be 18 plus. Please play responsibly.
Get it hot, get it fast, Western Pizza.
Been a long day, your feet hurt, your brain is fried, and now supper? You're staring into the fridge, contemplating your options, but your energy says, let's just not. Now imagine golden, crispy pizza loaded with all the Greek favorites. Feta, olives, tangy tomato sauce, fresh veggies, and melted mozzarella. Every bite is like a Mediterranean vacation for your taste buds, and you didn't lift a finger. Western Pizza. Dine in or take out today.
Get it hot, get it fast, Western Pizza.
Welcome back to Sportscage. Connect with the show. Call 1-866-767-0620 or text 306-936-6262.
Appreciate you taking the time to join us here. I am your Monday host of the Sports Cage, Tegan Whitco, joined by voice of your Saskatchewan Roughriders, Dave Thomas, Colson Schultz, keeping us on the air, on the stream as well. Sportscage.com, our YouTube and X account as well. If you missed out on any of the previous conversations that we had from, Ryder, from the Sauce at Oilersnation, we were talking some hockey there. Of course, we had Riley Schick join us, who just returned from the Dream Bowl in Texas. You might recognize that name from the Regina Thunder and the Regina Rams. You can go find those conversations anywhere where you have fine podcasts that you like to listen to. Right now, we are going to hit that Western Pizza guest hotline because we need to have a little chit-chat with our buddy Crofty, or Dan Croft from Croft Electric. And we were reminded before we brought on Crofty that, Dave, it is still Mr. Croft.
Mr. Croft to me, understood.
How you doing, Dave?
I am doing well, Mr. Croft. Is it warm enough for you now?
Oh, geez, it's getting a little warmer. This weekend was terrible, that's for sure.
Yeah, I could only imagine. You probably were pretty busy because when it's going to happen when it's minus 40, isn't it?
100%. Yeah, actually, and the funny thing is I actually snuck away to Edmonton. I was actually at that game on Saturday night that Bouchard had such an incredible performance.
Oh, that would have been one heck of a game to attend. Jeez. Were you there for the whole weekend?
We flew up Friday night and stayed over and back yesterday morning, and it was a good game. And then, McDavid, that goal at the end, that was unbelievable.
What an atmosphere.
Was there a Croft Electric hat on the ice for Bouchard?
I wasn't wearing a hat, or I would have thrown it, but no, we were sitting a little far away from the rink to be able to get a hat to the ice.
Wow. Well, you know what? I would say that was kind of a team effort, and when your team come out, you can be sure that you're going to go ahead and not only get a full team effort, but a team that, and being a Canucks fan, are way better than them because you guys know what you're doing and you work together to make sure the job is done right first time, right?
For sure. That's our slogan. Do it right, do it once. Here at Croft Electric.
Well, and you also have a Refer a Friend program that is ongoing for the month of January, right?
For sure. We have our Generac Refer a Friend to buy a new generator. Can't talk. A little too much time in Edmonton. We also have we just emailed out on the weekend some more information on our preferred customer program. So what that is, it's kind of a cool little thing we're trying to get going for 2026, and basically it's kind of an annual membership kind of deal. You get a 24-point inspection. You get priority booking, so you can jump the line if you need something quicker. You get access to our 24-hour emergency service. You get a 10% discount off materials, preferred journeyman labor rates, and you're automatically enrolled into our loyalty bonus program. So it's kind of a great thing. And then when you're enrolled into our loyalty bonus program, you get 100 bonus points every year you rejoin our preferred membership program. I know there's a lot of programs, a lot of membership, a lot of stuff there.
So what do those points equate to? This sounds very VIP, Crofty. So if I'm accumulating points, what can I use that towards? Any service?
And that's a great thing. So we basically make it easy. Every buck you spend with us, minus taxes and everything, you get a point. And then you get to use those points, and we'll have on our website, we'll have gift cards and service programs, and even some Croft Electric swag. You want to get that Croft Electric hat to throw on the Oiler game, you can get it online with your preferred points. So as well as discounts on further services, you can actually use your points to buy a gift card to pay down your next service that we can come out and do for you.
Do you still have those sweet bucket hats? I'm pretty sure that Colson still has one here in the studio. Oh, yeah, the Croft Electric question hat.
Yes, we do, of course. We can get you one of those. We can get you one, Tiga. Dave, we'll talk later. Maybe we'll see. In the summer, maybe I'll get you one for Ryder games. Keep the sun off your melon.
Okay.
I can use all the help I can get. But kidding aside, Mr. Croft, the one thing that we kind of talked a little bit about last week was generators and keeping the ice bowls unfrozen, because that's but really no job is too big or too small. We called your fine establishment last year because we had a little problem with our oven, and we actually had to get a new one installed and had to move the box the power goes into. And no problem. Again, I don't want to put words in your mouth, but residential, commercial, both ways, right?
100%, yeah. We have 4 service crews, full-time service crews that take care of all those, we don't like calling them small projects, but they're, the smaller type projects that, similar to what you're talking about, or even just, you have a small problem with a light or a plug or whatever. And, something else, we do keep capacity open during the week for small little service calls, small little emergency calls. Things always come up, right? So we try and keep a few hours when, sometimes we're booking 2-3 weeks out, but we try to leave a little hole in our weeks for those emergency customers. So, guess what? I'm long, short story long. If you need something done this week, we got room to do it for you.
Very cool.
Do it right. Do it once, and you should probably get signed up for your newsletter as well.
Oh, 100%. Yeah, so that's a good point. Keep up with all our specials and product promotions and different things with our newsletter. Amy does a wonderful job putting that together and sending it out. We try not to bug you too much because, I know what it's like. You get all those emails and sometimes you just delete. We don't want you to unsubscribe. So we try and make sure that they're informative, short, and not a bother.
Maybe even some NASCAR insights. 3 weeks till the Daytona 500.
100%. I'll be sending you a link to join our NASCAR pool, so don't you worry.
Awesome stuff. Look for me at the bottom.
It looks like you two are on good terms again. I like this. Only took a couple weeks.
I mean, anytime you do a little trash talking on NASCAR, that's
Them's be fighting words.
Yeah.
But I do have an M&M. Actually, it's funny. My wife reminded me after a conversation a couple of weeks ago. I do have an M&M's jacket sitting at home for you.
Oh boy, it's got an 18 on it or an 8.
You know.
Crofty, of course, Dan Croft, Croft Electric. Really appreciate the time. Thanks for doing this, man.
Hey, yeah, thanks for taking the time to call me.
Of course. And that is, of course, Dan Croft, Croft Electric, joining us on the Western Pizza Guest Hotline. Always a pleasure to chat with him. And I'm glad that you two are on speaking terms again.
Oh, we were never on speaking terms. We're just still on a very formal basis. I'm still under probation.
Yeah, that's still Mr. Croft.
Mm-hmm.
The day will come where he allows you to call him Crofty again.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
So I got to earn it.
If you're lucky. Okay, let's take a quick break. Before we get to your 5 o'clock news, we do still need to get to your sports ticker. And we're also going to talk sprinkle of the day here in just a few moments. So hang tight. It's the Sports Cage, and it's on the home of local sports at 620 CKRM and streaming at sportscage.com.
Listen weekdays at noon for Saskatchewan Today on CKRM with your host, Ryan Young. Offering the most extensive agricultural news coverage with precision weather meteorologists in an industry that moves fast. Stay updated with the latest, most reliable information in ag news, crisis and trends, all in one place. Available anytime at SaskAgToday.com. Saskatchewan Today, your trusted source for all things agriculture. Sponsored by Affinity Credit Union on 620 CKRM.
Hi, I'm Barbie. I'm terrified of bees. Ah! But I'm not afraid of fast internet from Glassers TV, your SaskTel authorized dealer. Get away! With SaskTel's super fast speeds, I can stream, shop, and video chat without anything buzzing around. Except my phone. And thanks to reliable Wi-Fi, even my smart doorbell warns me if a bee comes near. Technology 1, bees 0. So if you want fast, reliable internet without the sting, get connected. Contact Glassers TV, your SaskTel authorized dealer in Mooseman today.
Co-op has been beside local farmers and ranchers for generations. With Western Canada's largest fuel network and a team of local agronomy experts, Co-op is built to keep your operation moving forward. With deep local knowledge of the factors affecting your farm, we're ready to provide trusted advice in the field and on the ground. Count on Co-op to support your entire operation from season to season. Co-op, here for your farm, here for your family. Visit your Co-op Agro Center to talk to a team member today.
Looking for the best gear at the best price? Extreme Hockey and Sport just raised the bar. Now, with a price match guarantee, find the same product anywhere else, show the price, and they'll match it. The gear you need, the service you trust, and the price you want. Why settle for anything less? Get the local loyalty and the price match guarantee only at Extreme Hockey. Any budget, expert fit. Your local sit and fit hockey shop. Extreme Hockey and Sport, 1425 McIntyre Street, Regina's Hockey Shop.
It's time for the Sports Ticker, brought to you by Extreme Hockey and Sport, Regina's locally owned one-stop hockey shop. Now with a price match guarantee, 1425 McIntyre Street.
Let's take a look at that sports ticker, shall we? Saskatchewan Roughriders have re-signed all CFL offensive lineman Jacob Bramer. They have also signed American quarterback Jordan McLeod. Played college football at Texas State. McLeod also attended the Tampa Bay Buccaneers rookie minicamp in April of last year. Saskatchewan Roughriders also signing a Kentucky Wildcats standout defensive lineman, J.J. Weaver. So he is coming to the green and white. He was at the University of Kentucky. He also attended NFL training camp with the Carolina Panthers in 2025, but was released before the start of the season. In the PJHL, Regina Silver Foxes at the Regina Capitals tonight. You also have the Scotties Tournament of Hearts continuing. So Saskatchewan being represented by Regina's own Jolene Campbell. This is in Pool A. And improved to 2-1 after this morning's match. Narrow victory, 6-5 over Nikki Kaufman from the Northwest Territories. Saskatchewan will be taking on the Quebec Rink, who sit at 1-3 tonight at 6 o'clock. NHL 4 games on the schedule tonight. One lone Canadian team in action, and we were just talking about this with Ryder from the Oilersnation and the Sauce podcast. The Surging Ducks. They're on a heater, and they're heading into Edmonton to take on the Oilers. So that one, I do believe, is a 7 o'clock puck drop, if I'm not mistaken.
6:30.
6:30. I was close.
6:30. It's a prime NHL night tonight.
6:30 Saskatchewan time, Manitoba time. Or Alberta time, rather.
6:30 Alberta time, so 7:30 our time.
Okay, gotcha. See, I'm terrible with time zones. The Sportscage.com poll. Who is the greatest goal scorer in NHL history? You can vote. Your options right now, multiple choice.
Mm-hmm.
So makes life a little bit easier because you could really go deep into the weeds on this one.
You sure could.
Gordie Howe, Wayne Gretzky, Sidney Crosby, Alex Ovechkin, Connor McDavid. Let us know what you think. Voting on the poll.
You voted Gordie Howe, right?
I did. So who's in the lead right now? Do you have it in front of you?
Wayne Gretzky.
Okay.
Wayne Gretzky, but who's in second? This one will surprise you. Maybe
Wayne
it won't surprise you.
Crosby?
Ovechkin.
Really?
I was shocked.
I mean, he did pass Gretzky.
And like the two of them are neck and neck right now.
Really?
But statistically, yeah, you'd have to say that Ovechkin scored more goals. But when you factor it, again, I love the analytics when you're factoring in eras where players played.
And how the game changes.
That's right. And again, you factor in the longevity of Gordie Howe because he did it over how many decades. You're looking at Alex Ovechkin, right?
Mm-hmm.
Again, there's so many different arguments. Again, that's why it isn't a statistical question. It is a
opinion-based.
Opinion-based, right? Who do you think is the best goal scorer?
Yeah, okay.
You go back to 1998 in Nagano with Gretzky sitting on the bench, not in the shootout. They didn't think he was the best goal scorer that day.
That's true. And it can change season to season, year to year. But I don't know. I'm still sticking with Gordie Howe because of the legacy that he left behind.
Yeah.
And again, I know that the wording on this is loose. Greatest goal scorer. Does that mean style? Does that mean how many goals they've scored? What does that even mean, Dave?
It's open to interpretation, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. You made it too vague.
Wow. That's Throw me under the bus. Is that an unclutched performer for next week or what?
Maybe. We'll see if I'm still holding a grudge by then. Okay, let us know what you think. Sportscage.com. Also, if you join in the conversation on the Prairie Land Rentals text line, you have a chance to win some tickets for the Warriors and Pats game at the Brandt Center this Saturday. 306-936-6262. All you have to do is send us your first and last name and then the word Pats. Nice and easy.
Easy peasy.
That's it. So that, of course, was your sports ticker, which is brought to you by Extreme Hockey and Sport. Sticks, 20 to 40% off. Yetis, 20% off right now. Bauer Clothing, and all clothing is actually 20% off. Jeez. Base layers, which I know I needed more of those last week. Those are on sale. Shoulder pads on sale. Gloves, 20% off.
Did you say hockey sticks?
Yes, 20 to 40%. Why, did you have a kid break one recently?
Yeah, we were there this weekend, but Donnie and the staff are top drawer.
Yeah, you might have to go hit up Extreme Hockey and Sport again.
The young guy working, he was stressed. I felt bad for him. He was like,
was it busy?
I kept you waiting for 10 minutes. I'm like, 10 minutes? That's not bad.
Yeah, that's not bad at all.
And found the exact stick that we wanted with the right flex and everything.
Ooh. That's like finding hidden treasure.
Yeah, and it's especially when you get players that are picky, right?
Yeah.
Spoilt is another word that I would use.
Well,
but, yeah, just saying.
You say tomato, I say tomato.
To last year's model, and they, no problem. Gotcha.
Well, I have a pretty good feeling that the ODRs are going to be busy this weekend after that deep freeze. I'm sure the rinks are going to be in good shape, and it's not actually going to be bitterly cold.
True.
So, yeah, check out Extreme Hockey and Sport. Now we should get to the sprinkle of the day. It's for Sports Select. You can get in on more of the sports action if you want. It's as easy as playing at sportscage.com. So you can put in your picks there. Then it generates that QR code. You lock it in at your local lotto spot retailer, like a Sherwood Co-op or something. You can also do it the old-fashioned way and just fill it out right at the store. So we were looking at this earlier. Obviously, we're a couple weeks out yet, which feels weird to say from the Super Bowl.
Mm-hmm.
But on February the 8th, we have the New England Patriots taking on the Seattle Seahawks. And I knew that New England was going to be a bit of an underdog here, but I wasn't expecting by 5 points.
Yeah, that's usually you're talking sometimes 2.5, right?
Yeah, that feels a bit deep. But Colson was mentioning earlier that it opened up at 5.5, so this has actually gone down. The gap is narrowed ever so slightly. And as we find out more, if any guys are banged up or anything like that, as we get closer to next weekend's game, it's probably going to be moving quite a bit. But I've said it before, I'll say it again. I'm taking the Seahawks. You?
Right now, from the outside looking in, I believe Seattle, it's their time.
Mm-hmm.
If they got to get the running game going. They did in the first half.
Yeah.
But then they kind of moved away from it, which surprised me a touch. And I was curious about, but Sam Darnold throws for 346 yards. Like, that's not bad. The over-under is puzzling, though.
Yeah, 45.5.
Maybe it's not.
I mean, weather's not going to be a factor.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, LA, right? Yeah. I'm kind of tempted to take the under on that one.
I go back to what Riley Schick was saying, and it hadn't factored into my analysis, but truly, New England has had the easiest path.
They have
schedule and playing backups and
and just that division in general, right?
Yeah,
I don't know. I still think I'm going to take the under on that one. But I am getting the signal here. That means that we got to get to our news and your weather.
I thought you're talking from William Nylander. No, that's a different signal. Okay, fair enough. I'll leave it there.
Too bad we're streaming, Dave.
I know.
Show you a signal. Okay, that was your sprinkle of the day brought to you by Sports Select. And again, remember that you can also utilize the future bets. Find out how you can bet on the winner of the Stanley Cup. Obviously, the Super Bowl that we just talked about, the NBA Final, NCAA Soccer, NASCAR, and more. Must be 18 plus. Play responsibly. Every bet 100% legal at sportsselect.com. Okay, coming up next, Darian Durant joins the show on the other side of 5 o'clock. It's the Sports Cage. It's on the home of local sports on 620 CKRM and streaming at sportscage.com.
This is 620 CKRM Regina, the voice of Saskatchewan, a Harvard media station, streaming everywhere at 620CKRM.com.
It's 5 o'clock. Good evening. I'm Corey Atkinson from the sasktoday.ca newsroom with your 620 CKRM News for Echo Sound in Fort Qu'Appelle. Stay connected with a new cell phone from Echo Sound. Call 306-332-6711. And brought to you by the Capital Automotive Group. Capital's 100K giveaway is back. See capital100k.ca for more information. Countries around the world continue to deal with tariff volatility from the White House. Last week saw President Donald Trump threaten tariffs over Greenland, and now he's threatening Canada over their deal with China. As Sask Today's John Cairns tells us, the threats are starting to follow a familiar pattern.
Last week was another yo-yo act from President Donald Trump as he threatened tariffs over Greenland, over to back down days later.
It's a lot of chaos, but it seems to be the way things are getting run these days.
That's economics professor Jason Childs of the University of Regina. He says we've seen this play out before, where Trump would make threats and then back down. He believes traders are beginning to take that into account.
Traders of real commodities and physical things are learning to ignore a lot of the noise and watch for the actual action, watch for the actual agreement, watch for the actual implementation of tariffs and all that other stuff.
For now, though, the roller coaster of threats continues. For Sask Today, I'm John Cairns.
Carmichael Outreach says it temporarily closed this morning after pepper spray was released inside the building, forcing a short pause in services. The incident occurred around 9 a.m., and staff shut down operations to allow for cleanup and ventilation. Director of Development Janice Miller said everyone was safe and the closure was a precaution.
We have a very good staff of cleaning crew, and a lot of people pulled together this morning to help us clean it up so that we can be open again and help people out where they need it most.
The center reopened at noon for lunch service, making sure people still had access to a warm meal despite cold temperatures outside, as staff worked quickly to restore normal operations for guests. Opposition New Democrats are calling for a new high school in White City, saying the growing community needs classrooms. Leader Carla Beck repeated the pledge this weekend, noting Prairie Valley School Division lists a White City school as a top capital priority. The NDP says White City and nearby Emerald Park are the largest Saskatchewan communities without a high school, with students bused to Balgony or Regina. NDP MLA Alina Young said a new school would start in the party's first year. The Education Ministry says it continues to work with divisions and has funded school projects province-wide. And a Saskatchewan man has died after a snowmobile crash in the community of Bullier over the weekend. Southie RCMP say they were called to the town for a report of a rollover. Local firefighters and paramedics also responded. A 58-year-old man from Bullier who was driving the snowmobile was pronounced dead at the scene. Police say the investigation is still ongoing. That was your 620 CKRM News. Read more stories from around your community and around the province at sasktoday.ca and 620ckrm.com.
Capital's 100K giveaway is back for 2026. The Capital Automotive Group is giving away $100,000 in cash and prizes with no strings attached. We're proud to be part of communities across Western Canada, and we know it's those communities that allow us to exist. So every once in a while, once a year to be exact, we're going to say thanks by giving away $100,000 in cash and prizes. To learn more and enter to win, check out capital100k.ca. Capital's 100K giveaway. Do not miss it.
Ever feel like managing your phone, internet, and streaming is like an old ski game? Zigzagging trees, dodging yetis, just trying to level up without wiping out your wallet? Good news! At Echo Sound, your SaskTel authorized dealer, you can glide through it all. New phone? Level up. Faster internet? Power boost. Max TV streaming. Bonus content. No obstacles, no yetis. Just experts who make it easy. Ski smoothly into the new year with SaskTel services. Echo Sound, your SaskTel authorized dealer in Fort Qu'Appelle. EchoSound.ca.
Weather for Linex Regina. Serious protection, killer looks, 1865 McCarra Street.
A clear sky and our cold night, especially until the wind backs down, and it will very gradually diminish through the night, but until we get into that later part of the night, we'll see gusts continuing to exceed 50 kilometers per hour, and as temperatures drop back out of the minus teens into the minus 20s, that means wind chills way into the minus 30s. Now, most of the temperature drop-off down to minus 28 will occur once the winds do ease up, so there will be some balancing out of the wind chill, but still a very cold night. Gentle breeze tomorrow, partly to mostly sunny sky, the high at minus 17, mostly cloudy Tuesday night, minus 22, and a mix of sun and cloud for Wednesday, the high at minus 14. Wind is light on Wednesday. There is some warmer air trying to work its way in. It gets held back for the end of the week, minus 14 Thursday, minus 10 on Friday with a mostly sunny sky. But into the weekend, a couple of flurries come through for Friday night. Again, Saturday night into the early part of Sunday. Then into next week, temperatures close to, if not above freezing. With your 620 CKRM weather forecast, I am Precision Weather meteorologist Phil Spivak.
For 40 years, the team from Linex Regina has been protecting vehicles across Saskatchewan, and we're changing with the times. 3 generations of our family have protected your vehicles. Our business has evolved, and we're not stopping now. The next generation is here. Same family, same commitment. Ready for the next generation of truck beds, rocker panels, trailers, bumpers, and running boards in all kinds of colors. Linex Regina, 1865 McCarra Street, the next generation of protective coatings.
Broadcasting from Century Studios in downtown Regina, Harvard Media presents The Sportscage, where Saskatchewan comes to talk local sports. Brought to you by Kellen Solar, 35 years of experience, moving water from a dugout or well without electricity. Visit kellensolar.com to find out more about your livestock operation. Be part of the show. Call 1-866-767-0620 or text 306-936-6262. The Sports Cage. Streaming at sportscage.com, our YouTube channel, and on the radio at 620 CKRM.
Well, appreciate you coming along for the ride. I'm your Monday host of the Sports Cage, Tegan Whitco. I'm here with voice of your Saskatchewan Roughriders, Mr. Dave Thomas. And then Colson Schultz is keeping us on track on the radio and streaming at sportscage.com, YouTube and X as well. You can join in the conversation at any point on the Prairie Land Rentals text line, 306-936-6262. Still to come, we have Pat's chat coming up with Bryce, Bunz a little bit later on. We're going to have a little discussion about what we can expect tomorrow night at the Brand Center with their skills competition. So that's straight ahead. And if you missed it earlier, we did have a University of Regina Regina Thunder player that you might be familiar with, offensive lineman Riley Schick. We had a conversation with him fresh off his trip to Texas for the Dream Bowl. So if you missed the conversation, we will be rerunning that at the end of this hour. Make sure you hang tight for that. But without further ado, our next guest joining us on the Western Pizza Guest Hotline, Darian Durant.
It's time for Double Talk with Saskatchewan Roughrider legend Darian Durant. Double Talk is brought to you by Campbell Safety Consulting. At Campbell Safety Consulting, we work towards helping companies create a competitive edge by executing a proactive health and safety program.
Darian, appreciate the chat as always. It's going to be nice to see your face now that we're not just doing radio only. How was your weekend?
It was good. Had some exciting football. My Tar Heel brethren, Drake May, got it done going to the Super Bowl. So it was a great weekend for me.
I mean, there was a good football game and then one that I slept through, but we can talk about that a little bit later on. Only like half of it. But I want to start with you, legendary Darian Durant. Of course, you're familiar with the green and white. A couple of signings announced by the Saskatchewan Roughriders today. Jacob Bramer, an American defensive lineman, but the one that really piques my interest, and being a former Saskatchewan Roughrider quarterback, this one might also perk up your ears a little bit too. Texas State quarterback Jordan McLeod has been brought on by the green and white. Looking at the signings already done in that quarterback room, I'm wondering what this means for a guy like Jake Mayer.
Can't be looking too good. I think that when you're talking about the future, you've seen what Jake Mayer has brought to the table. You saw what he did in Calgary. He played sparingly last year. I mean, I'm not sure if the Ryder front office was really impressed or felt like he was the guy for Trevor to hand the reins to whenever he wanted to retire. So I think you have to continue looking. And with a guy like Jordan McLeod, his accolades, one thing I look at when you evaluate quarterback, you want to look at his completion percentage. And his last year at Texas State, he completed over 70% of his passes, which means he's fairly accurate. And hopefully, when he gets to Saskatchewan, he's able to kind of put that together, get a grasp of the new football. It's pretty much something that he's never felt before. So once he gets used to that, he seems to be a pretty accurate guy. I'm looking forward to seeing what he can do.
At Texas State, his assistant quarterbacks coach was Dane Evans. 6-year CFL career was spent between Hamilton and BC. What type of influence would that have had on him coming north?
Tremendous. Kind of like me when I was coming out, my wide receiver coach, his name was Gunter Brewer. He told me, man, he was a fan of the CFL. He would come up periodically to watch games, and he told me, like, look, man, You're not the biggest guy in the world. You're 5'11", 6 feet tall. Same thing. Dane is probably letting Jordan know you have a pretty good opportunity to go up there and play. It's a lot of guys of your stature that has had success up there, so you may want to look into it. And, I'm sure it's something once you get that opportunity, just like everyone else, they want to go to the NFL. They want to see what they could do. I saw where he went to Tampa for a free agent workout. Things didn't work out for him. But, this is a chance for you to go to Canada, go up north, and play the type of game that mainly fits your stature, who you are. And you look at these colleges nowadays, man, they're running a spread, wide open offense just like it is in the CFL. So I'm sure Dane has a tremendous influence on Jordan coming up north. And like I said, I'm excited to see what he can do.
So if you're Jordan, you sign on the dotted line, the contract gets registered. Now, are you solely working on becoming physically ready to participate, or do you get to talk to Mark Mueller, for example, quarterbacks coach, offensive coordinator, to start trying to grasp what the playbook might look like? What's the process?
Yeah, first and foremost, you want to get the playbook. You want to kind of get an idea, get some terminology going, see the type of route patterns that you're going to have, all that good stuff. So I'm sure Mark will send down a preliminary playbook that can get him acclimated to some of the terminology and, like I said, some of the route concepts. And also, you just need to get a feel for the ball. I mean, the football is a little bit wider. It's different. The field is much wider. Those wide side out routes are something you definitely have to get used to, and you have to practice at it. So you definitely want to get going and make sure you get everything you can early, so that when you get to camp, you're good to go.
How good do you think Trevor Harris is feeling today? Jacob Bramer, all CFL last year in his second season with the Roughriders. He's played both sides of the offensive line, guard and tackle. You got to be pretty happy, don't you?
Absolutely. I mean, you want to keep the big guys together, man. You got Yoshi back, who's the reigning CFL most outstanding lineman. He's back in the fold. Trevor didn't take a lot of hits last year compared to what he did 2 years ago. And, J.O. being a former old lineman definitely knows how important it is for continuity, keeping those guys together, making sure that they all understand the system, and whenever you have a group that's played solid football, you can keep them together, keep that nucleus together, man. It definitely helps Trevor, and I'm sure he's smiling from ear to ear because, like I said, he didn't take a lot of hits last year, and you have to directly put that on the offensive line.
Darian, I know we've had this conversation, and this is a part that fascinates me, right? In the fact that you're a teammate, but also as a professional athlete, you're competing for jobs. So if you are in Trevor Harris's shoes, or you're the incumbent starting quarterback and the team signs a guy that's going to give it a shot during training camp, are you reaching out to him?
I think at this point in his career, he may. If 5 years ago, he's in his early 30s, he's still trying to find his footing, solidify himself. It may be a little bit different attitude that you have, but he's a Grey Cup champ now. He knows that he may have 1, maybe 2 years left. So I think part of his discussion with J.O. was, finding a guy that he can teach, finding a guy that he can possibly mentor and show him the ropes because, we all have expiration dates, right? And Father Time waits on no one. And, for Trevor, you have to think that 1, maybe 2 years of playing at a significantly high level is what he has left in him. And you have to start looking for the next guy.
So at this point, we're just a few short weeks away from that free agency window opening up, Darian. I imagine if you are a player who will become a free agent in just a couple of weeks, there's some anxiety that comes along with that. Take us inside the mind of a player at this point who has yet to sign.
Yeah, I mean, you definitely have that anxiety. You don't know where home is going to be, and most importantly, you're looking at a potential pay raise. I mean, when your finances are at the forefront of this thing, because we all know that this is a business first. It's nerve-wracking. You want to be in the best situation, but you don't want to go to a team and make all the money in the world, but you're in a bad situation where you could only get 1 or 2 years out of that. So it's tough for guys to look around the league and find a situation. And I'll speak from a receiver's point of view. You're looking for a team with a solidified quarterback, a guy who is accurate, a guy who, is pretty much looked at as one of the top guys in the league. You have to look at those type of things when you're deciding which team to go to. So it's definitely nerve-wracking for the guys, and this could be life-changing money for some of these guys, man. This is an opportunity to make the type of money you never thought you could have.
So from the outside looking in, at a football team's perspective, and then maybe as a player perspective, one quarterback stands out, and that's Trey Ford. He was given a hefty raise last year to make starters money in the CFL. Cody Fajardo now is re-signed with the Elks and is going to be making starters money. You would think the organization might have to make a decision. What does that look like from both sides?
You know, that's tough, and that's a tough situation. But if you look around the Edmonton roster, I'm not sure if there are a lot of guys who make good money throughout the rest of the team. So this may be a situation where you can afford to keep both guys. You need two good quarterbacks. I don't think Edmonton can afford to not have a solid backup behind Cody because, you know, God forbid anything happened to Cody. You want to have a veteran guy. You want to have a guy with some experience. And in Trey Ford's case, some playmaking ability, you know, and hopefully he's sitting behind Cody or sat behind him last year and learn what it's like to be more of a pocket passer, to distribute the ball, not so fast to use your run around and do all of the things. I mean, this is pro football. You're not going to be able to just outrun everyone. Yes, you'll have that splash of spectacular plays, but consistency is what wins games. And, you know, Trey has yet to show that. But I think that if they can, you know, afford to keep both guys, they will, because you need two good quarterbacks. And as we all know, I mean, it's very rare to find a quarterback that plays every single game.
Do the Edmonton Elks know what Trey Ford is? There was some suggestion that perhaps they still don't know.
You know what? I think you've yet to see a full display of what he can be because, you know, Edmonton is in such desperation to win. They can't afford to just throw Trey out there, let him get the experience and let him take the punches in the face and the bumps and bruises that it takes to become a good starter. They have to win now. They've been going through so many bad years, empty stadiums. I mean, fans, you know, boycotting season tickets, you name it. I mean, it's just been tough. So they need to win. So they don't have the time to experiment with Trey to see what he can do. He just has to learn on the fly. And I think that, you know, with Cody signing an extension this offseason, I'm not sure if that puts him in the upper echelon of quarterbacks as far as salary goes. And that may allow Trey, because he's still so young, to still have some time to grow up under Cody.
So we should maybe talk a little bit of NFL since we're talking about quarterbacks. I want your take specifically on Drake May with the Patriots, that naked bootleg run that apparently his teammates had no idea was coming. He didn't even tell them, kind of a snap decision based on some of the comments that I was hearing after the game. What was that? Take us through the mentality of that play call.
I'm sure that was just communication between Drake May and Josh McDaniels, man, as they practice. I'm sure Josh lets them know that there'll be a time when we bring this play out. And if you get this certain look, you don't tell anyone what you're going to do. You just keep it, and we'll deal with the consequences after the play. So, you know, I did have a couple plays like that in the bag back when I was going. And like I said, it's just silent communication. And that's just a great read by him, man. A young guy being able to pull that play off in that atmosphere, those conditions, and this magnitude of a game, man. He's mature beyond his years. So, like I said, I'm just so happy for my Tar Heel brethren there. He got it done, and he's got New England in the Super Bowl, and hopefully he can continue to, you know, build what Tom Brady has already started.
How many times in practice would you pull that one out? Like, how many times would you rehearse that over and over again, a special play call like that?
You don't rehearse it. You don't rehearse it at all. It's just something that you have that communication with your offensive coordinator, and it's times like this. I'm pretty sure wasn't expecting it, and as we all know, his own teammates weren't expecting that play. It's nothing you practice, man. You got to get out there, and it's all a feel for it. If Denver's in a look where you feel like they'll take advantage of the play you have called, and sometimes you just have to audible yourself, man, and he did it. So kudos to Drake for getting it done.
So the broadcaster and Dave Thomas right now is watching Darian Durant play football, and Darian takes off when the pocket breaks down, scampers for, 27 yards, slides down, and Dave then makes the great analysis. Don't worry, Darian Durant has got the green light, always to pull it and run. Is that always the situation that you've got the green light? Was there ever a red light?
No, no, you don't have the green light all the time, but there are certain situations where, and in certain games where a coach will give you the green light, especially for a second-year guy. I mean, when I was in my second year, if I would have audibled or called another play that coach didn't like, I would have been on the bench the very next play. So it really just depends on your relationship, man, how much your coach trusts you, and what you've shown over time to show that they can put full faith in you to make a decision like that in a game of this magnitude. That's what makes it even more special, that, everything's on the line, a trip to the Super Bowl, and you pull that out of the bag, man. What better time to do it? So I think those type of plays, that's where you build trust with your offensive coordinator, and now he sees moving forward that, he can put a little bit more responsibility on your plate.
Tony Romo, during that Snow Bowl game in Denver, no fewer than 6 times referenced the fact that the New England Patriots may be blending into the snow because they were wearing all white. Do you buy that analysis?
Somewhat. I mean, when you're actually on it and you're looking through everything, of course, when you're looking at it from the third level of the stadium, it all looks like it's blending in. So I get his perspective. But when you're actually on the field and you're looking at guys, you see them, they're right there. But for a quarterback now, you're looking 30 yards outside and you're trying to throw a slant or throw a route. It could be hard to see a guy if the snow's coming down pretty hard. So up front, I don't think they have as much trouble seeing. But when you're looking out, as for a quarterback, the DBs and those guys, they're right in front of guys. So I don't think that's a problem. But a quarterback trying to locate a receiver, looking through the snow into a white jersey, I can see how that could be tough.
You having worn the Stormtrooper look for the Saskatchewan Roughriders, is there a decided advantage to the all-white? Like the Dallas Cowboys, Cincinnati Bengals all have all-white jersey combinations.
Yeah, I mean, when it's hot, you definitely would rather have on some all white and not your darker color dress. But it just depends, man. And when it's snowing like that, you're not going to throw the ball a lot anyway. So it's really going to be a smash mouth football game. It's going to be mano a mano right in front of you. So I wouldn't look at it as an advantage for the team with the white jerseys.
Can I ask about the guy who's probably the happiest guy in the world that he's going to a Super Bowl, in Rick Woolen? For folks that missed it, yeah. Rick Woolen for the Seattle Seahawks took a taunting penalty. So what would have been
at the worst time,
a 4th down play, he took it at the conclusion of a 3rd down play to award the opposition an automatic 1st down. Boy, what was he thinking?
Guys just get too caught up in the emotions, man. And when you're a warrior like that, sometimes you just lose it. And that's something that the leaders of the team, you have to emphasize in big games like this. You just cannot have any unsportsmanlike conduct penalties. You can't have any taunting penalties. Anything that you can control mentally, you just can't do, because it's just magnified times 10 in a game like this. You just can't do it. So, it's no excuse for it. I mean, you have to be smarter, but I just blame the coaches and the leaders on the team, because these were conversations we would be having all week long, every single day. And we would also put a little fine board on the fine system together. Like if you get an unsportsmanlike conduct penalty or something like that in the playoffs, you have to 10x it than what it was in the regular season. So that made sure, whenever you can affect a guy's pocketbook or wallet, then, that'll make a guy make a smarter decisions for sure.
Was it karma or targeted then that Denver went right after him the next play for the touchdown?
That's just good coaching, man. Good coaching. Like, he doesn't have his wits about him yet. He's still going through it, still feeling like he let the guys down. So what better time to just go right at him?
As a teammate, would you say anything to him after the fact? Like, game's over, it's all done, we won, we're going to the Super Bowl. Would a teammate address that? Do you leave that to others, or do you even talk about it?
No, you have to say something, because now you're in the Super Bowl. You made it. You got away with it, but look, this can't happen again. So I'm sure the leaders on the team are making sure that they make a point to go to him and let him know that, I get that you're fired up. I get that emotions run high, but you almost cost us the game. And next time you will cost us the game. So you can't do that.
There were certainly teammates screaming at him on the sidelines.
Of course. I mean, there's some guys who just don't wait until you get in the locker room. Some guys will just let it go. And New England has a couple of those. And so I understand that point as well.
You're a very emotional player, right? You've said that before. Did you ever find yourself having to tell yourself, okay, I got to rein it in. I got to bring it. I can't let this affect my teammates? Or is that just something that we on the outside looking in would suspect you might do?
I think I was, even though I was fired up, I think I was very good at bringing myself back down and realizing that I needed to stay in the moment. I think I've had situations before when I would play too fired up or be too antsy, and that leads to overthrows, that leads to not focusing in on blitzes and packages and different things like that you need to, quarterback is such a cerebral position and you have to think more than you react. So, I was good at bringing myself back down to earth. And, of course, I had guys like Weston and Getz who in the huddle would be like, Dub, shut up. You bring yourself back, calm down, make sure you get yourself together before you go on to the next play.
Now, I'm not sure if Sam Darnold was given all of the credit that he deserved heading into this game. What did you like in his performance for Seattle this weekend?
He took care of the ball. I mean, he threw for over 350 yards, 3 touchdowns, no interceptions, and he pretty much just did what he, honestly, what I really loved about this performance is that everyone doubted him because of what happened in Minnesota last year and what he did in the playoffs. He couldn't get it done. Everyone was wondering if he could get over the hump, and he just didn't let that affect him. And he just went out there, played his game. He did what he's been doing all season long. And the game didn't look too big for him. So I was just super proud to see a guy that was drafted into a bad situation finally get into 2 good situations, one with Minnesota and now he's just showing the work they missed out on because every team in the league had a chance to sign him as a free agent.
So you're saying that he would have heard the outside noise then? As much as you say it doesn't affect me, I don't read the clippings or whatever, it does, right?
Of course. I mean, every guy, every player that I know has social media. I'm sure everyone in the NFL does. He hears the questions. I'm sure leading up to the game, reporters were asking him about his days in Minnesota, how he performed in the playoffs last year, if he thinks about it. So regardless of if he reads an article or sees it on his phone, a reporter is going to ask him about it. So I'm sure he hears it. And, he's done such a good job, man. He's paid. I think and what's crazy, he's underpaid at making $30 million. But compared to guys in the league making 45 and 50 million, Seattle has him for a steal. So he's done a great job, shown why he was a top 5 pick, and he has his chance to be a Super Bowl champ.
Player fan question. It's 2 weeks until the Super Bowl now. You get a bye week. As a player, do you like that? And as a fan, do you like that?
As a player, only way I like that as a player is if I'm banged up. If I need a little bit extra time to heal up and treatment and all this kind of stuff. But if not, you're ready to go, man. You're ready to, follow up on that momentum that you established. As a fan, now you can make your travel arrangements. Now you can, figure out what you need to do with the kids, what you need to do to get off of work. I mean, whatever the case may be. You can plan out your Super Bowl Sunday if you're going to be in attendance at the game, what you're going to do at home, a party. It's so many things you can do. You have a week to plan it. So as a fan, of course, you like having extra time. That's with anything. But as a player, man, you're ready to go. You're fired up. You just won a big game. Now you have to wait 2 weeks to play. And you know how long the commercials and the halftime performances and all that stuff. So it's just more time to think about things that really don't even matter.
I thought you were going to make an allusion to making sure you're front row for Bad Bunny or something, but no.
Are you a Bad Bunny fan?
Oh, not at all.
Yeah, I'm not even sure I know any of his songs, but I might be a fan after this one. I don't know.
Yeah, we'll see how it goes.
I'd like. I do want to ask a hockey question before we're done, but you probably have better questions to ask.
A hockey question for Darian Durant.
Yeah.
I mean, shoot, buddy.
Okay.
Oh, that's like trivia.
No, it's not. You've got the inside on this one. It's the Saskatchewan Roughrider Foundation Winter Classic. 2 of your former teammates are going to be playing in Andy Fantus and Chris Getzlaff.
I saw that, yes.
Who do you think's the better hockey player? And if you had to go ahead and, as Barney would say, sprinkle a little, whose team would you be on the side of?
Oh, man, you know I'm going with Getz. It's just in his blood. I mean, with him and Ryan. And Getz has been doing it his whole life. And if you look at how Getz runs, even, the way he's on the football field, it's kind of like he's gliding. He got that from his skating background. So definitely have to go with Getz. It's in the blood, better bloodline. And I would tell Andy that to his face too, man. So don't feel bad about what I'm saying. But I'm not sure. Andy's pretty athletic, so I'm interested. If you guys are there, or if anyone is listening and you're there, I want to see some footage of Andy out there on the ice. So take a video for me and post it online.
I'm sure that can be arranged.
If the game came down to a video review, though, I'd put my money on Fantus. Just saying.
Yeah?
Really? Oh, well, yeah, he's good at that. Yeah, for sure.
Well, Darian Durant, we appreciate the time, as always. Double Talk with Darian. Thanks for doing this, and I guess next week we can tee up the Super Bowl.
Absolutely. Looking forward to it.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, man. Of course, that is Double Talk, brought to you by Campbell's Safety Consulting. We are going to be taking a quick break here because we have Pats chat to get to. Bryce Bunz is standing by, so hang tight here. We'll be right back on the other side. It's the Sportscage on the home of local sports on 620 CKRM and streaming at sportscage.com.
Listen weekdays at noon for Saskatchewan Today on CKRM with your host, Ryan Young, offering the most extensive agricultural news coverage with precision weather meteorologists in an industry that moves fast. Stay updated with the latest, most reliable information in ag news, crisis and trends, all in one place. Available anytime at SaskagToday.com. Saskag Today, your trusted source for all things agriculture. Sponsored by Affinity Credit Union on 620 CKRM.
If your garage door is running a little rough, you don't need to be talked into something that you don't need.
Sir, what you need is the new gigantic-esque, voluminous, astronomical, ginormous, gargantuan, exquisite air garage.
Just call Busy Bee Doors, the local experts who have been in business for many, many doors. They can fix or replace any commercial or garage door.
Wait. With me, you get a little garage door keychain, please.
Busy Bee Doors, the garage door specialists.
Do you have a safety program or OHS committee? Call Campbell Safety. Harassment in the workplace? Call Campbell Safety. Don't know if you have a proper safety program? Call Campbell Safety. Once you have an injury, it's too late to have a safety program. Be proactive with Campbell Safety Consulting. They'll come out and customize your safety program and be that extra set of eyes you need. 35 years experience doing health and safety, and they have seen it all, and then some. Call them today and get a free consultation. Campbell Safety Consulting.
It's time for the Sports Ticker, brought to you by Steel Craft Doors Regina, made in Western Canada for Western Canadians.
The Saskatchewan Roughriders have signed a number of players today, 3 to be exact. So they have re-signed all CFL offensive lineman Jacob Bramer. He will be returning to the green and white in 2026. They've also signed American quarterback Jordan McLeod, played college at Texas State. Now, he also did attend Tampa Bay Buccaneers rookie minicamp in April of last year. They also signed Kentucky Wildcats standout defensive lineman J.J. Weaver. So coming to the green and white, he's 6'5", 241 pounds, and comes from the University of Kentucky. Also attended NFL training camp with the Carolina Panthers last season. PJHL, they got the Regina Silver Foxes at the Regina Capitals Scotty Tournament of Hearts. In Pool A, we see Regina's Jolene Campbell rink representing Saskatchewan. They improved to 2-1 this morning with a narrow 6-5 victory over Nikki Kaufman from the Northwest Territories. And they are going to be back on the pebbled ice tonight. They are taking on the 1-3 Quebec rink just after 6. In the NHL, there are 4 games on the slate, 1 Canadian team among them. as the Edmonton Oilers entertain the red-hot Anaheim Ducks. Sportscage.com poll right now, who is the greatest goal scorer in NHL history? You can let us know by voting at sportscage.com. Also, just want to remind you, if you text in the word Pats on the Prairie Land Rentals text line, you have a chance to win tickets to this Saturday's game at the Brandt Center as the Moose Jaw Warriors come to the Queen City. So just text in the word Pats and then give us your first and last name, because otherwise Colson is not going to know who he's talking to when he makes the draw for those, okay? So that was your sports ticker. It's brought to you by Steelcraft Doors. Taking a quick break, and we'll be back on the other side with Pat's Chat. It's the Sports Cage on 620 CKRM and streaming at sportscage.com.
You've worked hard for years, but when you retire, do you know your options that truly fit you and your family? That's where Chad Reach, Senior Wealth Advisor, and the team at GP Financial Services and Aviso Wealth come in. They help you understand your choices, avoid costly mistakes, and build a retirement plan. Independent advice, local expertise. Before you make the next move, talk to Chad Reach, 306-584-2755.
Mutual funds and other securities are offered through Aviso Wealth, a division of Aviso Financial Inc.
Get it hot and get it fast. Western Pizza.
The days are shorter, it's colder out, you're heading home, and your stomach is making that sound like it's sucking up to your spine. How about a delicious Western pizza? Imagine it, a golden, crispy crust holding a mountain of melty cheese, savory pepperoni, fresh veggies, and that perfect drizzle of sauce. Every bite is warm and exactly what your cold, hungry self ordered. Western Pizza. Dine in or take out today, before your stomach starts making demands.
And get it hot and get it fast. Western Pizza.
This is Sportscage. Watch our live stream at sportscage.com and on the radio at 620 CKRM.
Appreciate you taking the time. This is the Monday edition of the Sports Cage. I'm your Monday host, Tegan Whitco. Joined alongside voice of your Saskatchewan Roughriders, Dave Thomas, Colson Schultz, keeping us on the radio at 620 CKRM, in addition to the stream, which you can find anytime. Listen to our conversation with Darian Durant if you missed it. It's always online, sportscage.com, our YouTube channel, and you can also find it through Twitter. X, I'm sorry. I'll eventually get it right one day. It's almost like a protest at this point where I just don't want to call it that, you know? I don't like change that much.
I don't take you as the protester type.
No? Is that supposed to be a compliment or an insult?
I think it is. No, I think it is.
Just go with the flow.
I think that's a compliment. I believe it's a compliment.
Okay, let's go with that.
Thank
Some
you.
conviction in that statement.
Fair
All
enough.
right. Now we're going to dive right in. It is Pat's Chat, Dave. So Bryce Bunz is joining us. Game day manager. Bryce has to put up with me all the time at the rink. I feel so bad for this guy. And then he has to come in to do Patch Chat with us on this Monday. But it's a pretty exciting week. Not only that Trans-Canada rivalry game between the Pats and Warriors on Saturday, but let's back things up a little bit to tomorrow night. Skills competition. This is something that we haven't really seen the Regina Pats do in a while.
It's back. We're excited for it. It's a great way for us to get back to our fans and for them to come out and see the talent that's on the ice this year. It's a great way for, just for people to come out and just take in some fun, light activity. Our schedule is pretty heavy, so that, fit something like this, and it's super important. Our biggest goal is always community involvement and getting them be out there, be present in the community. So having nights like this is super special for us as an organization. And it's a fun thing for the players. We all seen the NHL skills competitions. We know what they're like. So for us to bring it back, be in front of the community and, embracing it, I think it's a really good thing for us.
So what will some of the competitions look like?
So we're doing the staples. We're going to have the hardest shot. We're going to have the fastest skater, relay action, one-timer. We're going to have a shootout involved with it as well. So we're running 7 events tomorrow. Doors open at 5:30 there, and the event itself will start at 6 p.m. at the Brandt Center there.
And I understand this is also a bit of a fundraiser.
Yes. So for season ticket members, they get in for free for their commitment and support that they give us year after year. But with that, we will have admission as well. It's $10 to get in, but if you bring in a donation for the Sophia House, you get in for $5 there. So it's a nice way, again, being part of the community, doing stuff like this. It's always super important for us.
Well, and hopefully cut a big check later this week.
Yeah, hopefully.
Bryce, I am fascinated by your job because going to a hockey game is such an entertainment experience for an entire family. You're in charge of that show.
I am, yes.
How much planning goes into getting ready for just a single regular season game, let alone 30 plus that you put on every year?
For sure. So the best way to put it is I go game by game. Basically, it all depends on, if we're doing a Wednesday game where, it's our classic, Wiener Wednesdays and staples like that. We don't have to do maybe necessarily as much, but when we're doing nights like this upcoming Saturday, we have first responders coming out, right? It's a touching moment for us to include them and have them part of nights like that. So there's a lot more details that go into it, right? We're going to have a ceremonial puck drop for them. We're also activating in the party zone there right next to the brand center there. So that's where we're going to have some fire trucks, police vehicles, and stuff like that. So, as much as hockey's important and that's why we're all there, what I get to do and control on the outside is bringing those people in and making sure they're entertained. And, it's kind of storytelling for myself. And I just kind of go each game. What did I like? What didn't I like? And what did the fans appreciate? And can we keep building and expanding on it?
How much detail goes into your prep? And again, I'm sitting between the two people who do it because from coordinating what Tegan is going to say to making sure the video board has got the right thing happening on this, and then making sure whatever's happening on the ice doesn't interfere with the game. Like, how much work is that?
It's a lot of work. I've gotten really good at kind of figuring out my craft and how I like it to work. As Tegan knows, I'm also working late into the night most nights to make sure we are prepped and we have our details in place. And I try to, relate to all of our staff and team members what's happening at each game and what can we all expect there. It's live entertainment. Things are going to change. We're going to have to pivot. People can't make it or stuff comes up or whatever happens. But the more I can communicate, and that's what this job's really helped me out with, is communicating everything. My family might not say so on my personal side, but on my job side, I've gotten a lot better of communicating and honing that in and just, being forefront with what we're going to do and what fans can expect that day. And, the best part of my job is the people I get to work with at the rink that day. We all care so much. We all go in, we put in our best efforts, and it's not, at the end of the day, the wins and losses, they matter, but how people left the building and what they felt that night, that's really important for us. And we take that very seriously.
Where do you get your ideas from? Like, for example, the intermission that I was at, there's two people playing volleyball down the ice with a pair of balloons. I wouldn't have thought that would fit in a hockey game, but I was very entertained, especially at the end of it all. So where does this come from?
A little bit of energy drinks, a little bit of inspiration. No, but
trial and error.
I think it's just, I've gotten kind of the reins to try and do different things. And, my executive team, they support me with just, being authentic and being myself. And I just think of, what did people, for myself as a kid growing up, my brother and I always played this really, dumb game. We make sure the balloon never fell on the ground. So I was like, okay, well, what if you did that on the ice surface? And what if you had more people doing it? And how do we kind of add more to it? And then, we have Eric running lights and he's going crazy with the lights with it. So it's just like, how can you build something that was so simple as like a childhood staple to me into being entertaining for fans to kind of think about?
See, and from my seat, from my point of view, I would imagine that a regular game day, because you have it down to a science, it's a well-oiled machine. You know what to expect when the unexpected inevitably takes place. But something like tomorrow night in the skills competition, where it's not just pre-game and then intermission and then post-game, you're doing stuff all in between everything. So how much effort and time has gone into this, and what does that breakdown sort of look like?
For sure. So the biggest thing we realized is when we booked within the ice time and started to understand this event is timing, and that's game days to crucial, it's timing. So we slotted what we think each event would be running for per minutes and how do we keep the fans engaged with that there. And Tegan, just so you know, now you're going to be busy tomorrow doing some interviews with the players there. But for tomorrow, it was I was fortunate enough when I got this role, I could look at prior scripts and get a feel for it. This is one I can
brand new.
I built from the ground up. So Pats fans, if you come out and you're like, what is this? I'm sorry, but I'm pretty sure you're going to enjoy it. It's going to be a really good time. We have so many awesome people coming in tomorrow to help collab with it and make it special. and we're bringing some different technology to the event too. So I think all that's going to be really special to kind of elevate it and make it feel professional.
So because it is First Responders Night this weekend, did you manage to talk a police officer into borrowing his radar gun for the hardest shot?
We've been chatting with them. We've been chatting.
I love that.
There's been some work. So
Okay. Any alumni you can tell us about that might be coming?
So our alumni, they're very funny. As far as I know right now, as of this moment, whatever time it is, Kim McDougall's coming in. Now with that, I anticipate that there'll be several more who will hear this and they'll be like, oh, there's an event happening. I gotta get on down to the Brand Center. So if you are a Pats alumni, please reach out to us if you want to be part of this event. Like our biggest thing is, we're being part of the community and wanting everyone to feel like they're part of this event. And that includes our alumni. So we have been poking them, reaching out to them, and no offense, guys, you guys are a little late getting back sometimes, but if you want to be part of this, please do.
If I could offer up one piece of advice as someone that has tried to stand and hold the radar gun during a hardest shot, be behind the net. Just throw that out there, be behind the net. But having said that, obviously there's a I'm sure we're all modest, but if you look back, favorite game that you've produced, that you've created, that, wow, that was one that was really cool and worked out well.
It's going to sound kind of like cliche, but this year's home opener we got to actually kind of strip our whole pregame and do something new this year. And I got to sit at the table and be part of that. And as much as, our old video of Skating Through Time did really well, and we all love and cherish that video, being able to go in last year, put our heads together and start that off. And typically home opener for game day and like the rest of my staff, we're all like, oh, we're going to mess up something. There's going to be something that doesn't go right. And this year actually felt really good. We were all confident. We did how many rehearsals to make sure we got it, find out, and it went really well. So it's cliche because everyone's like, oh, the home opener is the fun one. But for us this year, it really was. We got to do so many different variables that just haven't been done in years prior.
Can you give me any tips or pregame scouting as to where I should sit on a Wiener Wednesday so I can catch the hot dog?
I think we try to stick in kind of more of the midsections there. Just, our season ticket holders, they're committed. They're always filling up those midsections there. So I'd say, like, if you're in that general area there, and if you let me know there, Dave, we'll make sure to bring the gun over.
Hey, so it sounds to me like if I see a season ticket holder with mustard, I know where I should go.
Yeah, exactly.
We like to spread it out a little bit,
That's true.
Share the love.
Tegan's part of it too. She helps out
yeah.
with,
I don't shoot the gun.
No.
I don't shoot the hot dog gun. Absolutely not. I would break it. There's a reason why there's other people to help me. I'm not going down that road.
I don't want to. About choice as to where it's going. Does that fall upon you?
We rotate.
Okay, fair enough.
We like to switch it up.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
You got to hit different areas.
Whenever you come to a Pats game, you're guaranteed to get some promo item maybe coming by you. So.
Yeah. Just yell at us, I guess. But nicely.
Nicely, yeah.
Nicely.
Please don't yell at Tegan.
I mean, that's going to happen regardless. But the Regina Pats skills competition coming up at the Brand Center tomorrow night. You said doors at 5:30. Event begins at 6. It is in support of Sophia House as well. So monetary donations, I imagine. Is there anything else that we can bring?
Just, like I believe with Sophia House, it's like anything from like formula, food donations. I believe they do gift cards as well there. So anything along those lines there should be like perfectly fine to bring in for tomorrow.
Okay. I like that. Who you got in the Super Bowl?
Oh,
I mean, I'm putting you on the spot here.
It kills me to say this because I'm a Niners fan, but I think the Seahawks are going to get it done. I know. I'm so upset, but if there's anyone who's going to do it, Sam Darnold was with the Niners, so I will give them their tip, and I think they'll get it done.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, we'll have to revisit that and see if you were right I'm 2 weeks from now.
So, Patriots fans, just know I'm a mush. So, if there's anybody who should be happy, though, you guys might win it now.
Oh, jeez. Well, Bryce Bunz, of course, joining us from the Regina Pats for Pats Chat, game day manager. And there's a big event coming up at the Brand Center tomorrow, so the Regina Pats skills competition is back. We'll see you at the rink tomorrow. Okay, thank you for coming in, Bryce.
Yes, thank you.
Appreciate it as always. And we will take a quick break. We will be right back afterwards. It's the Sportscage on 620 CKRM and sportscage.com.
Out here, business still begins with a conversation, a handshake, a look in the eye, a moment that can change everything. At Canada's Farm Show, Regina, Saskatchewan, presented by Bunge, those moments turn into partnerships that last season after season. Meet the producers planning their next harvest and the companies ready to help them grow. March 17th to 19th at Real District in Regina. Canada's Farm Show, where big deals grow. Visit Canada's Farm Show, reginask.ca today.
Did you know that February 11th is 211 Day? It's a day to raise awareness of this valuable service that connects people to community programs, social services, government supports, and more. 211 is answered by a real person who is trained to find the support you need. Life can be hard. Finding help can be easy. You're not alone. Help starts with 211 for all of life's challenges. Just dial 211 or visit sk.211.ca. Help starts here.
Winter driving is easy, unless you want to stop, or start, or turn a corner. On snow and ice, that takes the right tires. And the right tires are at Quality Tire. Winter tires give you the grip you need to brake faster, handle better, and stay in control when the roads don't cooperate. Don't leave your safety to all-season guesswork. Get ready for real winter driving at Quality Tire, trusted for the road ahead, with 9 locations across Saskatchewan.
QualityTire.ca. New year, same old basement? Fries Tallman Lumber has everything you need to transform that space from storage to stunning. Framing lumber, insulation, drywall, interior doors, molding, and ceiling tiles. All the materials to turn your basement into something you'll actually use. Start the year by building it right with help from the pros who know interiors. And they'll deliver it if you live in Regina, Fort Capel, or anywhere in southern Saskatchewan. Visit FriesTallman.com. Fries Tallman. Let's get you building.
The 620 CKRM Country Corner is brought to you by Glasser's TV in Moosomin, your SaskTel authorized dealer, and Foster's Audio Video in Carlisle. Get the newest cell phone today with an amazing SaskTel rate plan.
Frost Regina is back and cooler than ever. A citywide celebration of winter magic that runs across 3 unforgettable weekends in February, transforming Regina into a playground of ice and lights. Check out the full list of events at frostregina.ca. Take in a memorable night of Canadian country music with 2 powerhouse bands, the Roadhammers and Doc Walker. Friday, February 13th at the Casino Regina Show Lounge. Tickets are moving fast. Grab yours before they're all gone at the box office or casinoregina.com. And this Valentine's Day, Danceland Ballroom presents the Johnner Brothers, joined by the Johnner Boys. Take in the supper at 6, followed by the show. Tickets and full details at danceland.ca.
For more information, visit 620ckrm.com. If it's happening in sports in Saskatchewan, we've got it covered on Sportscage. Be part of the show. Call 936-6262 or toll free 1-866-767-0620. On your radio at 620 CKRM and online at sportscage.com.
Thanks for joining us on the Monday installment of the Sports Cage, brought to you by Keln Solar. I'm Tegan Whitco, your Monday host. Barney will be back tomorrow and through the rest of the week. I'm joined alongside voice of your Saskatchewan Roughriders, Dave Thomas, and of course, Colson Schultz behind the board, keeping us on the airwaves at 620 CKRM and at sportscage.com if you do like to watch our faces as we talk to you. It's kind of fun. You can also find us on X. You can also find us on our Twitter.
That's
I
the
said
same
X
thing.
and Twitter.
X
I meant
and Twitter.
YouTube.
Yeah.
I meant YouTube.
You're good.
It's been that kind of day, Dave.
Yes.
But you know what? It's been a busy one for the Saskatchewan Roughriders front office. They made a couple of announcements today, including the signing of an American quarterback, Jordan McLeod. So 70% completion rate. We were talking to Darian Durant about this earlier. That's impressive. He was at the Tampa Bay Buccaneers rookie mini camp in April, so last spring, 2025. And then they also announced that they signed a defensive lineman, Kentucky Wildcats standout J.J. Weaver. So he is signed on with the Green and White. He also was at an NFL training camp last spring, 2025, with the Carolina Panthers. So both these guys have had some NFL looks, and now they are going to be coming to training camp up in Saskatoon this spring. And third and finally, a name well known to Ryder Nation, an offensive lineman coming back.
Yeah, Jacob Bramer, turning 27 next month. He's an all-CFL offensive lineman from a year ago. He's spent his last 2 years in green and white with the Roughriders, played right guard, of course. Big signing. So good to see that he's coming back. And boys, that right side of the offensive line look pretty good now, right? And we had an opportunity to talk with him earlier today, and we asked him first and foremost, after congratulating him on the new deal, if he's actually had his day with the Grey Cup yet.
I haven't yet. Well, we had the whole week or two right after the season, or right after the Grey Cup with it. We all kind of paraded it around town a little bit, and then I'm actually signed up to get it here maybe I think a week or so after the Grey Cup. I think I'll get to spend some time with it and then kind of take it around town up here in Saskatoon.
How interesting, exciting, cool is the experience when you get an opportunity to share your accomplishment with others?
It's awesome. I mean, coming from the States, we didn't really know about the Grey Cup all that much, but then playing up here for the 2 seasons, just getting to learn a little bit more about it. It's been awesome. And then really the coolest thing for me, I tell people all the time, even when I'm doing our presentations at the schools, that getting to see like the emotion that was on maybe like Logan Ferlin or Noah Zare's face, just like my roommates, like the guys that were born and raised in Sask, like Jorgen Hughes, just getting to see how much it meant to them. That meant a lot to her. It has made it that more special for me. So that was awesome to kind of get to experience that with this team.
Jacob Bramer, you said you didn't know a lot about the Grey Cup. How much do you know about the Stanley Cup?
I don't know a ton. Just growing up in Houston, I mean, we have the Stars, and then we had an AHL team in Houston. So I would go watch games there. I have very minimal knowledge about hockey, but I like watching it. It's pretty fun, though. Pretty fun to watch.
Opportunity for fans to watch hockey. You're going to be a part of the annual Saskatchewan Roughrider Foundation Winter Classic. That's coming up January 31st in Saskatoon. What's your role going to be?
So me, I won't be playing, just don't have the skating background. Don't want to put myself in harm's way, or anyone else, I should say. But I'll be roaming around the stadium, kind of talking with fans, doing some promotion stuff there, and then maybe even some autographs. And then I know after the game I'll join everyone and we'll do a autograph signing after the game.
Now, this game actually is starting to take on a competitive flair, as Brett Lothar was pretty upset that his team lost last year. Have you heard some of the chirps that are going back and forth between him and Chris Getzlaff and Joe and Kian Schaefer-Baker?
Oh, yeah, no doubt about it. Yeah, it's definitely a charity event, but there's definitely going to be the competitive side, right? So I know Brett, and Brett loves to win, so he's one of the biggest competitors on the team, whether it be that, we're playing cornhole in the locker room, anything. So, or even ping pong. He wants to win all the time. So yeah, it'll be a fun game to watch. It'll be pretty competitive.
So do you hedge your bets? Do you back one team or the other, or do you politically sit on the middle of the fence and not pick a winner?
I'm in the middle of the fence. I kind of just play both sides to it, you know? I'm in a win-win situation that way.
Of course, that was our very own Dave Thomas speaking with Jacob Bramer, who just re-signed with the Saskatchewan Roughriders. And Dave, that is worthy of applause, Colson. Thank you for that. Right on the money. Dang, he's doing good today.
He is.
As much as all Saskatchewan Roughrider fans, oh gosh. Now he's just showing off.
It's going to keep going.
Now he's just showing off. Good thing we're almost done here. As much as we want to see the band get back together and everybody return from the 2025 season, I suppose. Not realistic, but it's starting to seem pretty positive for Ryder fans.
Yeah, it is going to fall into place because that CFL negotiation window begins on Sunday. That's when teams can start talking to the potential free agents. Then February 10th is the day the players can actually start signing.
Man, where did the time go? Does not feel like we should be at this point already. But before we know it, it's going to be the Combine in March, and then we're also going to be getting into training camp up in Saskatoon. But I'm getting excited.
Yep.
Let's go. CFL.
It's coming.
Let's go. Okay, I'm getting the signal. We got to sign off here and skedaddle. Not sure why I used that term, but we did. Okay,
That's interesting.
It's the Monday edition of the Sportscage. On behalf of myself, Colson Schultz, Dave Thomas, appreciate you coming along for the ride as much as it did get off the rails from time to time. Good night from the Sportscage studio on the corner of 12th and Rose.
Country's greatest hits live right here. 620 CKRM, a Harvard media station.
It's 6 o'clock. Good evening. I'm Corey Atkinson from the SaskToday.ca newsroom with your 620 CKRM News. Saskatchewan's opposition NDP is accusing the province of acting slowly on addressing hospital safety concerns, arguing it doesn't need another report to examine issues. Last week, Premier Scott Moe's Saskatchewan Party government announced a review into hospital security while installing metal detectors in some emergency rooms. But the NDP says the provincial auditor had already pointed out those issues a year ago. NDP health critic Mira Conway says the finding is evidence that the province already knew what it needed to do on hospital safety.
There are already dozens of pages, reams of information, analysis, data to show us what we need to do. We don't need another review or report that is not coupled with action.
The province hasn't responded to a request for comment, but has said the review will examine how security is delivered and where safety can be enhanced.